pirating his distinctive voice for an ad campaign. The lawsuit claims that Coke used a pirated version of Mr. Cash's voice in a, quote, nationwide advertising campaign to enrich itself, unquote. In the suit, Cash's trust evokes the recently passed Elvis Act that protects artists from unauthorized commercial use of their voice intelligence. The ad in question was part of a Coke campaign for this year's NCAA college football season. The ad depicts fans drinking Coke and Coke Zero, synced to a recording of a man singing that sounds, according to the lawsuit, remarkably like the voice of Johnny Cash. Again, that's according to the lawsuit. Now, this is the ad in question. See what you think here.
Stand alone with fire inside. This heart's a drum.
Yeah, that's the voice that they are concerned with. The Cash Trust is seeking a jury trial and to be awarded compensatory damages in an amount to be determined at that trial. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Herbert, WTN News. Oh, boy, here we go. We've got two separate wrecks already on I-40 eastbound west of the city at mile marker 192 and 193. It's blocking the right lane. Up north of the city near Rivergate, 65 northbound near Vietnam Vets, we've got a crash there that's blocking the left lane. 24 westbound on the east bank near the Shelby Avenue exit, our daily wreck there. It's blocking the left lane. And 24 westbound near exit 19 in Robertson County. We've got the left lane blocked there due to a crash. Yeah, and we're not even at 3:30 yet. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy portion of the broadcast day beginning right now and extending until 7 o'clock. It's Wednesday. It's November 26th. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and we wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. Let me get the pleasantries out of the way, and we'll get into the breaking news here coming up in just a moment. It is day 314 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. It's day 932 of our visits together on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and I've enjoyed almost every single one of them. There was that one time that Jackson annoyed me. You can find us. It's true. You can find us on 99.7 FM. Let me get through it, and then you can whatever. 99.7 FM. That's the radio dial from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. Obviously, we're on a multitude of apps. You can find us on TuneIn or Spotify or iHeart or our own app, Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Type that in and take us wherever you want to go. And then, of course, Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. If you masochists in the listening audience want to watch me do a radio show, I don't think that I have a face for TV. I think I got the face for radio, but you know what? To each their own. You can do so by dialing up those various platforms and find us wherever you go and take us wherever you go on Talk TV. We thank you for that. Look, I wanted to have fun. Jay Harper's back in the newsroom in the absence of Ken Weaver, and we appreciate him. Hello, Jay.
Hey there, Matt. Yeah, somber stuff going on.
Yeah, I want to talk about the stupidity of traffic and holiday travel and how you cook the bird and the 7th Congressional District race and whatever might else come to mind. I told Jack, what did I tell you to get me right before the show? What did I tell you?
A gobble.
A gobble. I want to gobble so we can gobble all day. We have a good time. And then this. We have 2 National Guardsmen who have been killed. These are West Virginia National Guardsmen in service to their country in Washington, D.C. According to multiple reports, the gunman in custody has been severely wounded. According to our President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump writes, the animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded, and this was prior to the announcement that they were killed, now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. God bless our National Guard and all our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as President of the United States and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you. We don't know a lot of the details, but let me tell you something. When you have individuals in positions of authority, elected or otherwise, running around the United States of America and characterizing our men and our women in uniform in service to their country, whether it's local law enforcement, state highway patrol, the National Guard, the United States military, whatever it might be, when you have groups of people telling others that they are the bad guys, when you have these individuals described by Democrats as Gestapo, you give mentally deranged individuals a pass to do these types of things. I don't want to hear from Democrats about how we need to tone down rhetoric when they haven't toned down a damn thing. Certainly not. Remember when Donald Trump almost had his head blown off? That was only like a year and 5 months ago, y'all. And the Democrats ran out for the 3-4 days that they could contain themselves and said, oh, my goodness, nobody would want this. We need to tone it down. Oh, yes, the rhetoric is getting too heated. And then before you know it, they're back to calling him Hitler again. And they're back to calling us Nazis again. And they're back to claiming that individuals that have sworn their lives and their duties and their sacred honor to upholding the laws of the United States of America, they're calling them the bad guys. Well, what do you think's going to happen when mentally deranged people get a hold of that information and they get convinced that they're doing good by killing people? It makes me madder than hell that the mainstream media doesn't call it out like they should. It makes me madder than hell that 2 men are dead, and these people on the political left, why are they masking? What do they have to hide? They're the SS. They're like the brown shirts. They're the Gestapo. All this garbage that they've been spewing out of their filthy mouths for the last months. We pray for the people, though. We never wanted that. Well, what do you want? Why are you speaking this way if this isn't what you want? What are you trying to accomplish by calling law enforcement personnel and members of the National Guard, Gestapo, and other nasty names and suggesting that they are on the wrong side of history? What is your expectation? Oh, I'm mad. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to yell at you. I don't mean to yell at the audience. I don't mean to start it this way, but it just angers me to the core of my being that they don't get called out on it. These insane people like Afton Bain, these insane people who talk so very nasty about the men and the women that serve their country and just want to go home to their families. And now there's 2 men that are dead. Well, it was a mentally deranged person. Well, what do you expect? What do you expect? And the mainstream press is culpable in all of this. See, Germany. It ticks me off.
Matt, ABC is reporting that one of the guards people was actually female.
So it's a male and a female. Thank you. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Man and a woman.
With families.
Yeah.
With families that they won't be able to go home to, that they won't be able to have Thanksgiving. That the families of these 2 National Guards people will never celebrate Thanksgiving in the same way again, because every time they have a Thanksgiving, they're going to remember the family members that they don't have with them. Why? Because I don't know anything about this individual, but I know this. There's one side of this political debate that talks about law and order. There's one side of this political debate that talks about doing things the right way. There's another side that acts on emotion and appeals to the emotion of individuals that are listening to them, and they seem to want those types of emotional responses. What do you think you're going to get? Our National Guard, they are not the Gestapo. And oh, by the way, these 6 elected Congress people, I guess there were senators, people elected to the United States Congress that came out a week ago. Oh, you don't have to abide by illegal orders. What illegal orders are you talking about? Once again, it's all in the suggestion. It's all in the innuendo. The suggestion is that if you're a part of the United States military, that if you just decide that something that you've been told to do in your chain of command is a violation of the Constitution, that you don't have to do it. Well, there's a way to adjudicate that as well. You go through the judicial branch and you determine whether or not the executive is demanding something that is extracurricular to the Constitution of the United States of America. But their suggestion is, they're asking you to do illegal things, and you should say no. They're suggesting that there should be some level of an insurrection going on. And all of this is being heard by the American people, and sadly, some American people are unhinged. And what do you expect that they're going to do with this information? They throw rocks and they hide their hands. They throw rocks and they hide their hands. Oh, we didn't throw those rocks. We didn't say that. Oh, what? Oh, no. We didn't mean all of that. Well, what did you mean when you called Trump Hitler? What did you mean when you called the National Guard Gestapo in Washington, D.C., or in Memphis, Tennessee, or in Los Angeles? By all means, tell me what you meant. Tell me what people are supposed to do about these things. Tell me exactly how the National Guard's people are acting extracurricular to the Constitution of the United States of America. I'll listen. Tell me exactly when the laws were changed to prevent them from following the rule of law. I get very emotional because 2 people are dead. 2 people are dead. And I'm not going to give a pass to the political left on this, because it's their rhetoric that heats this country up to the point. We had an election last year. This country is based on individuals going to the polls and electing their leadership locally, in their state, in their Congress, and the presidency of the United States of America. And we voted. What part of we voted don't you get? We voted to begin the process of abiding by immigration law again. We voted for this. Now, you might not have, and you got your lips all pooched out about it, but just because the majority of the people in the United States of America voted in a way that's inconsistent with your values and your ideology, that doesn't mean that you get to ignore the law, and it certainly doesn't mean that you get a free pass to go on television networks and declare that the President of the United States is acting extracurricular to the law when you bring no evidence to back that claim up, and then to declare that they're acting in a fashion of Adolf Hitler. And you know exactly what you're doing. And I'm sick of you saying you don't. All right, so that said, like I was saying, I wanted to have a nice show today. I wanted to have a kind show today. I wanted to have a fun show today. And then they get me all worked up about that. Hey, Jackson, how are you doing? You got some pumpkin pie in the fridge.
What a transition, Matt.
That's nice, isn't it? Pumpkin pie. There's some pecan pie in there for everybody. The Brister family brought it over for us, which is nice.
Yes, they did.
Yes, good. That's
Now,
good.
see, Matt, you said it properly. You said pecan. You didn't say pecan.
It's pecan.
No, see,
It's pecan.
we're good. It's pecan. Yeah,
a pecan is something that you use when you can't go anywhere else.
That's right. My
Somebody
dad.
got arrested for that. That was one of my nincompoops a couple weeks ago. They rear-ended the hell out of somebody.
Whoa. Well, that'd make me pee, too.
Well, they were trying to pee in the can.
The Budweiser can. Remember that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Jay was with us. Jay remembers.
I don't remember these things.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Well, Jay Harper remembers.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember.
I
I mean,
believe you. I just don't remember.
It's hard to forget somebody doing that in
Oh,
the
that's
Budweiser
right, because
can.
I remember that. I remember that part of it because
Yeah.
we were concerned that, aren't you concerned about
Yeah, something-
Appendages?
Yeah,
cuts?
on a sharp edge.
Yeah,
there.
sharp. Ooh, yikes! That would sting the nostrils in a bad way. All right, we'll continue to update you on this situation in Washington, D.C. 2 National Guardsmen, a male and female, shot and killed near the White House. Suspect in custody. Suspect shot as well. Joseph's on the line, wants to talk about it. If you want to get in on it, 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Once again, I apologize for being emotional about it. I apologize for yelling at you on the radio. You don't deserve that, but my goodness gracious, I get so frustrated. Because you see all of this coming, and then when it manifests itself, you're like, we saw this coming. And sadly, there are minions, ABC, CBS, NBC, the rest of the alphabet soup networks, hashtag never CNN, that garbage network, MSNBC that tries to rebrand themselves as something else. They just allow this to go on their media platforms, and they take no responsibility for it when something like this happens. We'll take your calls momentarily, 22 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega are your computer consultants here in Middle Tennessee. And if you're not using them for your business, might I suggest that you need to make the call that so many others have made. You don't have to worry about cybersecurity when you're dealing with Alpha and Omega. You don't have to worry about ransomware when you're dealing with that, or these silly bugs and things that happen upon you when you're trying to do it yourself. Alpha and Omega will take care of all of those things. They'll take care of all of your IT needs when it comes to your business, whatever your business might be. They have emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They ensure outcomes that keep your network secure and performing at its best. If you're a business owner, you need to make the call. If you're thinking about a new contract in the new year, you need to think about Alpha and Omega. Let them be your IT professional. 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or A&O.net. That's A&O.net.
West of the city, two separate wrecks on I-40 eastbound that have the right lane blocked. 40, again, that's near McCrory Lane. 24 westbound near Shelby Avenue, a crash has the left lane blocked. 24 westbound near exit 19, the left lane blocked due to a crash. Also 24 westbound near exit 54, the right shoulder block there due to an accident. I'm Jay Harper. Coming up on the news here at the bottom of the hour, we'll have the latest on this tragic shooting that has taken the lives of National Guard members in D.C. Also, President Trump sending a special envoy to talk to the Russian president. And already we're hearing unruly passenger stories on airlines for Thanksgiving. We'll have all that coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right. It was West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey who initially announced that the two National Guards people, a male and a female, had died due to their injuries. He has now offered a new X post, and I want to read it to you. So most media outlets, including this one, including your host, we were relying on his report, that would be the governor of West Virginia, that the two Guard members had passed away. He's now saying, we are now receiving conflicting reports about the condition of our two Guard members. We will provide additional updates once we receive more complete information. Our prayers are with these brave service members, their families, and the entire Guard community. I pray to God that they are still alive, and we pray that he will bless them with healing. So the West Virginia governor initially reported that those 2 guardsmen had passed away. He's now saying that he's walking that back a little bit. So we are praying that the governor was wrong at first and those 2 guard members are still alive. We'll continue to update you. We'll find out as soon as we know, you will know on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joseph is first up. Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for allowing me to talk. I just wanted to say, and you've kind of covered it, I have never jumped into any commentary or any sort of political discourse or discussion with this, I served in the military, I was shot at, and I shot back, all that kind of boat. It just really irritates me. I did serve in the military. I did all that stuff, but I don't use it to try to trump other people's opinions. And this Mark Kelly guy, okay, those, in my opinion, blood is on his hands. His rhetoric causes people to hesitate and think twice, and you don't have time to think twice. And I'm upset about it very much so, just as much as you. And you're very, self-righteous anger is the way to describe it. I think it's perfectly logical. Everybody should be angry about this.
Well, and Joseph, I know you're not asking for it, but thank you for your service. We got to deliver that. We got to tell you thank you, and we're going to do that. But you're right.
I appreciate it.
You're right. More broadly, the United States military and what they are being asked to do to try to clean up the mess left behind by 4 years of Joe Biden with regard to immigration, illegal immigration primarily, the mess that is going on with illegal drug trafficking and the amount of deaths that we're seeing with fentanyl. All of those things are being cleaned up right now, and we're utilizing the National Guard. We're utilizing our military. We're utilizing men and women in uniform to do that. And they have targets on their back, sadly, because Donald Trump is doing this. The political left has decided that they are agents. They are agents of the enemy, and they're treating them as such. And so why wouldn't, and Joseph, thank you for the call, why in the world wouldn't unhinged people take that as a free pass to do what they will against these individuals? And we see it over and over and over again. And for the next day and a half, they'll talk about how much they care about the National Guard, and then they'll go back to vilifying them. For the next day and a half, they'll talk about, oh, this is awful, this is horrible. And, the mainstream press, Jake Tapper, I can see it already. Jake Tapper talking to some Libby Democrat on his little platform on #NeverCNN. And he goes, well, surely, oh, yes, we condemn this. This is awful, Jake. 3 days later, they'll be calling them Nazis again. Enough is enough. Don't support this garbage. That's why I say #NeverCNN. Don't watch. I watch so you don't have to. Don't watch this garbage, and don't support the companies that support that garbage. And until we do it that way, it's not going to stop. It's 31 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll be back in a moment right after Jay Harper's newscast coming up right now.
It is 3:31, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll have a weather forecast and the latest in traffic. Well, as you heard Matt express here just a moment ago, there are now conflicting reports that the previous reports of the National Guard members from West Virginia having been killed in a shooting near the White House today. Well, we're hearing conflicting reports that perhaps they have not passed away. We'll just stay on top of this as best we can. The Associated Press, as well as just about every other news source, claiming, based on this West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey's report, that those folks had passed away. That's what the news outlets had been depending on. But now we're hoping that the governor was wrong. In any event, the suspect is in custody. We do have that from pretty well confirmed sources, and that the suspect was also shot, but is not believed to be suffering from any life-threatening injuries. Again, this is a A confusing developing story, but we pray that the governor of West Virginia is wrong. President Trump, he says his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, he's going to be traveling to Russia to present a peace plan on the war in Ukraine to the president of Russia, Mr. Putin. This after the U.S. and Ukraine ironed out a plan in Geneva this week. But Witkoff, he may be facing some controversy. According to a report out of Bloomberg, Witkoff was talking to Putin's top foreign aide about a peace plan that would favor the Russians. And according to the report, which has not been verified by ABC News anyway, Witkoff allegedly coached the aide on how to appeal to President Trump on this peace plan. We hear now from ABC's Patrick Reevell.
The Kremlin aide that was involved in these calls, Yuri Ushakov, has been speaking to Russian media, and he appears to have implicitly confirmed that this call with Steve Witkoff did take place, as well as another call that was also leaked to Bloomberg between Ushakov and a top Kremlin negotiator, Kirill Dmitriev, who has been negotiating with Steve Witkoff and who was in Miami last month.
Well, just in time for Thanksgiving, an unruly passenger has been detained on a flight that was taxiing out of Atlanta. ABC's Alex Stone reports on what unfolded in this very, very bizarre episode.
We have a psychotic passenger.
KLM Flight 248 was taxiing to the runway in Atlanta on Tuesday, bound for Amsterdam, when police say a 32-year-old passenger thought he saw another passenger with a weapon and panicked, opening up the emergency exit door and deploying the emergency exit slide. The pilots heard talking to air traffic control from liveatc.net.
He opened our left door, so we got a flight deployment as well.
The passenger was detained by police, but they say it appears he was experiencing a mental health episode. He's charged with reckless conduct, interfering with security measures, and damaging property.
That is the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. We still have those two separate wrecks west of the city near mile markers 192 and 193 on Interstate 40 eastbound. Again, that's headed into the city. That crash blocking the right lane. 24 westbound near Shelby Avenue on the east bank. A crash has the left lane blocked there. 24 westbound near exit 19, the left lane blocked due to an accident. We've got more crashes on 24 westbound right before Briley Parkway, and another, well, this is a stall eastbound on 24 just past exit 56 there near Harding Place. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. I was just handed an awesome T-shirt, and I know that I can fit into this awesome T-shirt thanks to Contours LLC. I'll tell you more about the T-shirt coming up in just a moment, but bottom line is this. I don't have to worry about whether it fits or not anymore because Contours LLC, they've taken care of that for me. You know, I heard Dan and Chad talking about it. I was like, I got to get in on this. I talked to Keith. I talked to Stephanie. I made my appointment, and I went. And I have found out it is real. Every bit of it is real. Located in Cool Springs, Contours LLC uses incredible medical-grade red light technology. It is non-invasive. It does not involve any incisions, any pain, any downtime or any complications, and it works. I lost 2.5, I think it's technically 2.67 inches in my torso. First treatment. They guarantee you'll lose over 2 or your first treatment is free. How about that? Contours LLC wants you to look your best over the holidays, and if you're thinking about it, it's time to get to it. Contours LLC, 615-236-9960. That's 236-9960. Or, you can join them online at contoursllc.com. $99 first-time special. Ask about the Murphy package. 615-236-9960 for Contours LLC. Hey, remember yesterday when, and we'll get back to your phone calls regarding the shooting of two National Guardsmen, one male, one female, shot in Washington, D.C. They were targeted in Washington, D.C. We will continue to discuss why the rhetoric matters and why the elevated rhetoric on the part of the political left needs to stop. All of that coming up in mere moments. Remember yesterday, Jackson, we had a call from Captain Terry?
About
Captain Terry. And I received a communication from Captain Terry, and I'm going to read it to you. Said, "Hello, Matt. I was provided this email by calling into your show. I have requested equal time from the station by reaching out to a corporate email that was not responded, or that has not responded. Hopefully, now that I have your email, you will do the right thing and platform me as you have Van Epps. Kind regard, Teresa Terry Christie." So I guess I should forward this to you. I responded to her at 1 o'clock today and said, if you'd like to come on, you're welcome to come on at 3:30. She is a candidate that will be on the ballot in the 7th Congressional District, and she is demanding equal time. And as you may or may not know, those candidates that you interview, if another candidate that's on the ballot wants equal time, you offer equal time. You're legally obligated to do so, but I feel like I'm morally and ethically obligated to do so as well. So maybe I'll forward this to you, and you can give old Captain Terry a telephone call on her personal cell, which she left on the email. But I did respond to her, and I've not heard anything back. So if you know anybody, if anybody knows Captain Terry out there in the listening audience, just let her know that I responded to her, and We're looking forward to that conversation. Jerry is next up. Hey, Jerry.
It's Gary.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gary.
Yes, sir.
You know, and by the way, Gary, you understand, poor Jackson was publicly educated in the state of Tennessee, so you know how it goes. You know.
Yeah. Listen, two things. One about Mark Kelly, but I moved here from North Carolina 28 years ago, and I had retired from active duty career. In North Carolina, it's pecan, and in South Carolina, it's pecan.
Pecan?
I get up here, and I got to listen to the
pecan
stuff. Yeah, in South Carolina, it's pecan.
I don't know about all
North
that.
Carolina, it's pecan. Yeah, pecan and
No, Gary, pecan is something that I do at the beach.
Well, I'm sure you do it.
Do a little pecan
with your wife's permission.
Well, just wear those sunglasses. Don't move. The key is not to move your head. If you don't move your head, you're safe.
Well, I just can't say pecan, okay?
Why not pecan? What's wrong with do you feel like pecan's a Yankee way of saying it, or?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Come on.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, well.
But that's okay. At least someone on your program's got it right.
It's not me.
It's me, Pecan.
Pecan.
Hey, the same guy that said the word right couldn't get your name right, Gary. Just remember that.
Listen, that has happened over the past couple years 4 or 5 times, so that's okay.
So it's not pecan and it's not pecan. It's, say it again.
It's pecan in North Carolina, and it's pecan in South Carolina.
Man, I lived in South Carolina for 15 years, Gary. I never heard that. Wow. I heard him say pecan there, but not pecan. But
pecan.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had some deep South Carolinians correct me on pecan.
Yeah. Well,
maybe that's the up country, the Greenville, South Carolinians.
Hey, how long were you in South Carolina, Gary?
Oh, I was in and out of South Carolina. I mean, I was at Jackson for a while. But
what do you think about those sand gnats?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, I went to Paris Island in 1971 to become a Marine. There was a thing called a lottery draft. So
yes,
I decided to join the Marines because I didn't want the Army telling me what to do. Well, I wish my dad took me out and whooped me. But we had sand fleas, and boy, they were horrible.
Oh yeah,
they were horrible.
Yeah, sand gnats, sand fly. I mean, no, it's awful over there. I don't know how folks. I don't know. I don't know how folks live over there, except for Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, is pretty nice.
Well, the Marine instructors, drill instructors, told us that that version of sand flea that was at Paris Island was designed by Navy engineers to torture us. Yeah. But the real reason I called, I didn't want to correct the,
yes, sir.
This pecan issue here.
I get it.
But being retired military, because I did get out, go to college, became an officer. What Mark Kelly did was absolutely, it is punishable by courts martial. And by the way, or a 32 board administratively. I mean, his retirement pay, everything. We all knew when you retired that you're subject to Uniform Code of Military Justice. And you've seen the article where they cite the 2 federal codes there. And all orders are presumed legal. And you obey them. And I've been enlisted. All the orders that come to me from the officers above, the senior NCOs make sure everybody is going to obey the orders. And as an officer, you're not going to tolerate disobedience. In fact, I'll say this: in a combat situation, if a soldier takes off running and jeopardizes that position, and people can get hurt, killed, you can shoot that individual. That's a fact. It's strict. So what happened is they were trying to incite mutiny in the ranks. What is an unlawful order? Literally, you can't shoot at a hospital that has the Red Cross on it unless the enemy shoots from it. Then you go for it. You can't execute prisoners, line up civilians and shoot them. You can't obey an order that's in contravention to Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Well, and they pretended, and I'm going to play the exact quote here in a second, Gary, and thank you for your call, and I appreciate everything that you say and your service. Just so we're all clear, and I'm about to play it for you, what Senator Slotkin and Senator Kelly and the rest of their Democrat colleagues did, the other four, they told members of the United States military and members of the National Guard that the president is a domestic enemy. Now, once again, remember the phrase, throw a rock and hide your hand. That's what they do. They throw rocks, they hit you in the head with them, and then you look at them and say, hey, why did you throw that rock? I didn't throw a rock. I don't know what you're talking about. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing when they use this vile, disgusting rhetoric regarding the Gestapo and Nazism. They know exactly what they're doing when they put out this video, too. So they put the video out insinuating, really telling service members that the president of the United States is a domestic enemy. I'm about to play it for you. And then when challenged on it, when said, hey, you know what? You can be cited for insurrection here. This is seditious behavior. What? Oh, this is how the president reacts to his political enemies. No, this is how we react when you're telling service members that the president of the United States is a domestic threat. Little audio, little video here there, Jackson. As we play this, just listen to it for yourself.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
All right, hold on. I'm being told I haven't shared my screen because I was waiting on. My apologies, Jackson. Stand by. Stand by.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens.
All right, you hear that? So they specifically said, hold on.
Uniformed military.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military against United States American citizens.
Military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us. You all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are...
But from right here at home. Well, what threats are they referring to exactly? Be more specific, please.
Clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
Okay, so on the heels of saying threats are coming from right here at home by this administration, they then say you can refuse illegal orders. What illegal orders have they been given? Please tell me. And if there are none forthcoming, if you have no evidence that any of the orders that have been given to the United States military are illegal, then what in the hell are you doing in this video except to incite insurrection?
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
What orders have been told to the United States military that violate the law? Please explain that to me. And oh, by the way, these military men and women, they don't just get to ignore orders if there is some sort of confusion or some sort of debate. There's a manner in which you do that as well.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
Our Constitution, and who we are as Americans.
I mean, they know what they're doing, folks, and it's time that we stop pussyfooting around on this. They know exactly what they're doing. They are begging the United States military to ignore the President of the United States of America, the Commander-in-Chief. And they can hide behind, oh, we were talking about illegal orders. We weren't talking about it. They know exactly, you know exactly what they're doing. We all know exactly what they're doing. And it's this type of nonsense that leads to what happened today. We got a press conference going on. Can I hit that press conference? Can you get that? Thank you.
All those different aspects, but we don't have any motive.
Guardsmen armed, sir?
The National Guardsmen that were shot, I'm told they were armed.
Did they get off shots?
At this time, that's part of the preliminary investigation.
Can you explain how the suspect was apprehended?
Sure. So how the suspect was apprehended, as I said, the individual, the suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the two National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
And he was shot by a National Guardsman?
At this point, we're still investigating exactly who shot that individual. It's not clear at this time.
Chief, do we know what kind of weapon was used?
We don't know what kind of weapon. There was D.C. police. It happened right in front of the Metro, although there is no indication that the perpetrator was on the Metro. So there's Metro Transit Police in the area, and obviously being on 17th Street by the White House, Uniform Division Secret Service were in the immediate area as well.
What kind of weapon the alleged perpetrator used?
We do not know at this time. It's still in investigation.
We're going to be able to take a couple more.
Has been able to question the suspect, or is his condition so severe that you haven't been able to have a conversation?
Sure. And so as I said, we're very preliminary in the investigation, so we're looking to all aspects of who the individual is, his connections. At this time, he's still in the hospital receiving treatment.
And I would just like, hang on, I would just like to add, the reason that this suspect is in custody is because of the bravery of the men and women of the National Guard who responded due to their extensive training to secure American lives today. There was not any further injury and any further shootings. We should highlight the fact that the men and women of law enforcement, the interagency, the Department of War, and the National Guard executed their training with great precision today and prevented an even greater tragedy from befalling us. These National Guardsmen are heroes, and we must pray for their safety and their speedy recovery. And as the chief said, we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. We will run down every single lead, every piece of evidence. This is the power of the U.S. government at its best at the state, local, and federal level. That is why this interagency group is standing behind us to assure America and the world that we will continue to keep D.C. safe. And thankfully, we have Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guardsmen, and federal agents, and the Department of Justice and Attorney General willing to prosecute the mission to keep Americans safe. And President Trump has rightly stated that this heinous act will be investigated, and he has thanked the National Guardsmen and women and the men and women of law enforcement.
Thank you.
All right, that's we heard the final remarks there from FBI Director Kash Patel, who was on the scene along with an assembled group of individuals, including I don't know if that was the chief of the D.C. police, but it was a higher up. With the Washington, D.C. police force, as well as members of the National Guard, gathered for a preliminary press conference. Two National Guardsmen in critical condition. There was a report that they had passed away. That was from the West Virginia governor. He retracted that report. So we are prayerful that those individuals are in good hands and that they find God's grace with healing. 56 after the hour. Real quick timeout, and we'll update you in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Then there's Black Friday. What are you doing for Black Friday? If you're not going to the Glock store, you're doing it wrong. My friends at the Glock store have their first annual Black Friday and Super Saturday sale. Virtually everything will be on sale inside of the Glock store, including a special deal on a pretty special Glock that I'm not allowed to mention. That's all I can tell you. It's a special deal on a special Glock at a price too low for me to talk about on the radio. In fact, there's so many great deals. Here's what I recommend. First, check out the great deals in the Black Friday category on GlockStore.com. Make a list of what you want because you're going to get overwhelmed when you browse through the store. And while you're waiting, you might just win one of the incredible high-dollar raffles that are going on all day. So you go into the store. The staff will get your order together. You can browse around the store while that's happening. You can win something from one of the incredible raffles, and you can relax. You can even enjoy a meal from Uncle Bud's food truck. That's right. Uncle Bud's food truck's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there on Black Friday. Great deals on virtually everything, including Glocks, all-day raffles with great prizes. Uncle Bud's food truck. Let me tell you something, folks. If you've not tried this Hush Puppies, you're doing it wrong. I'm just telling you, you're doing it wrong. It's the Glock Store. Start your journey at glockstore.com.
It is 2 minutes past 4 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you a forecast and an updated traffic report here in just a few. 2 West Virginia National Guard members who deployed to the nation's capital were shot earlier today, just blocks from the White House, in a brazen act of violence. Now, the West Virginia governor initially said that they had been killed, but later walked back the statement to say that his office was receiving conflicting reports about their condition. CNN now saying that those 2 guards people, a man and a woman, are in critical condition. They, too, were saying that they had passed based on that West Virginia governor's report. But we're all, of course, praying that they are indeed still alive and still fighting. The governor's office did not immediately respond to questions about the attack and the condition of those troops when reporters followed up. A suspect is now in custody and was reportedly shot and has wounds that are not believed to be life-threatening. Vice President J.D. Vance, he's in Fort Campbell today. He was serving up some Thanksgiving fare to the troops there. He gave his thoughts to the guardsmen and their families, as well as all armed forces who might be feeling the impact of this incident.
It's a somber reminder that soldiers, whether they're active duty, reserve, or National Guard, our soldiers are the sword and the shield of the United States of America.
In other news, a judge has dismissed the Georgia election interference case against President Trump.
The decision from a Georgia judge puts to end the last pending criminal case faced by President Donald Trump. Both federal cases against him have been dismissed, and the Georgia case has now been thrown out in its entirety. He's attempting to appeal his conviction in New York for falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
That is Peter Haralumbus reporting. A twist in the disappearance case of a high school football coach in Virginia. Authorities in Wise County, they're still looking for Travis Turner, and they say they have a warrant for his arrest. Here's more from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Virginia State Police say Travis Turner, football coach at Union High School, is wanted for soliciting a minor and possessing explicit images of children. It's a disturbing turn in a case that came to light almost a week ago when Turner disappeared as his undefeated team was preparing for a playoff game.
That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. Well, we still have this issue west of the city on I-40 eastbound. This is near the McCrory Lane exit 192. The right lane still blocked. There were 2 wrecks, but they got one of those out of the way, but there's still one there blocking the roadway. 24 eastbound before exit 8. That's an injury crash up in Montgomery County involving 3 vehicles. We have an accident 24 westbound now headed into the city right before the Briley Parkway exit. And a crash has 4 vehicles involved on 440 eastbound. This is the off-ramp to Murphy Road. It's clogged up due to that crash. We have your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, friends, here we go. It's hour number 2 of the Matt and Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. At some point this hour, we will speak to Matt Van Epps, who is a U.S. congressional candidate for the 7th District of the state of Tennessee. Jackson, I know that I offered you pecan earlier because I try to share, and our good friends.
I'm taking the pecan.
I got trouble now because our good friends J.K. and Erica Brister, fine people, a U.S. Pest, wonderful organization. They brought us pie and a turkey. But
I'm taking pecan.
My wife now says she wants the pecan, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Tell her you made previous arrangements.
All right, I'm going to tell her that, and we're going to see what.
Why don't you half it? Put half in one pan and half in the other, and there you go.
Split the baby. Yeah. That's what Jay
But then
says.
one of us doesn't win, Jay. We tie.
I'll take it under advisement, Jay. I mean, I like that, but Jay, that's a great idea that also feels very messy, and it feels like that will take an amount of time that I'm not ready for.
Well, just go ahead and eat half the pecan, and then. We
could just eat the pecan pie during the show.
That's what I was going to say. Just eat it during the show.
I already promised the pecan pie to Jackson, and he wants me to make good on his promise and bring you the pumpkin pie. What am I supposed to do? ? Okay. I just texted that. So that's voice to text right there, boys. One way or the other, thank you for the delicious goodies. I'm trying to share in the spirit of Thanksgiving. It is our Thanksgiving Eve show. The first hour of the show, I mean, we were going to have a lot of fun, and we're still going to have a good time today. We'll continue talking about early voting, which is now complete in most areas. I think it wraps up at 4:30 in some districts, but it's done. Clarksville, I believe it was 12 o'clock today. So we'll continue talking about that. I'm curious if I can get, and I will not argue with you. I won't, I'll judge you privately maybe, but is there anyone listening to our radio show that would be willing, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, to call and tell us why they have supported and or voted for Afton Bain? And the reason I ask, statistically, I would feel like there are some of you out there. Because we're being told that statistically Afton Bain is within the margin of error. Now, I don't believe this. Not for a moment. But I'm wondering if I could convince one of you to pick up the old telephone and dial 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. And just say, I'm supporting Afton, and here's why. I'd love to hear from you. or John Thorpe or Captain Terry, but mostly Afton Bay. I genuinely want to know what it is about this candidate that you support. Now, do I believe that we'll get a call? I don't know. I would love to. I'd love to think that some of our left of center listeners, I know you're out there. I know you listen. You claim you don't, but you do. I'd love to think that some of you believe in your candidate enough that you're willing to step forward and announce why you're voting for them. And once again, your host will not argue with you. I will not argue with you. I will not try to debate you. I will not try to dissuade you from your decision. I just genuinely want to know what it is about this candidate that is appealing to anybody in the 7th Congressional District. Anyone. Now, I don't believe this Emerson poll. Y'all know me in polls. I'll go over it again. I'll tell you why you shouldn't believe it either. In the meantime, we have 2 National Guardsmen that have been shot in Washington, D.C. As of right now, the motive of the shooting appears unclear. I've told you that the dynamics behind this and the rhetoric that has been presented on so many national media networks behind this regarding the National Guard has to lend itself to what happened today. And I'm sick of it. And I got very emotional in the first hour of the show. If you missed any of that, you can catch up with it on the podcast at Supertalk 99.7 WTN or 99.7WTN.com. In the meantime, we have a 7th Congressional District to think about. And we have Thanksgiving to think about. So let's see if I got a response. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right, so I've got to take some of this pecan pie. So if we got to half it or something, we got to go halve it.
You can take it, Matt.
No, Jackson. Don't play that with me.
You can have it. Well, I will be the bigger man because I know.
Are you okay with the pumpkin?
Yeah, I'm fine with the pumpkin.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
In exchange.
Because he made pumpkin.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. So. And, oh. I'm going to read this. This was the response. You heard what I said to her, right?
Yes.
You heard that. The response was, I already made pumpkin. My mama can't have pecans, and since J-Baby lives at home, and I'm sure his mama has a spread for tomorrow, I want some pumpkin pie. Tell Jay, not Jay Harper, by the way. I think this is Jackson. His decision will have repercussions.
Yeah, you can have the pecan.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but I don't like it.
I think she means she'll hold out future goodies.
And Christmas is coming up.
And Christmas is coming. You want to just
you just take the pecan.
Yeah,
you take the pumpkin too.
You just no. The pumpkin's yours. You can have the pumpkin. And we'll I'll tell you what, we'll split the turkey in thirds. How about that? Y'all ready for that? We'll get on that at 7 o'clock tonight. I've got the knife. Bonnie is next. Bonnie, thank you for your call. How are you?
Yes. Well, I haven't been doing too well. I didn't really want to talk about that subject that you were talking about, and I do apologize. My little dog's been sick, and supposedly he has cancer.
Oh, no.
So anybody out there that has an animal that's got this, it's really sad. And, you know, I've heard a lot about ivermectin, and I've been reluctant to get it, and I finally got some from the co-op because it's a lot of rumors about the ivermectin helps with cancer. So, if anybody's listening and they want some, the co-op down in Lynchburg got a variety, and she said it just flies off the shelf, that a lot of humans are taking it. So I've been really sad, and it's just going to be terrible, when I lose the dog.
So, what type of cancer, Bonnie? Do you know?
Well, if I can spell it, it's I got it on my phone. It's just a second, and I'll tell you. It's HEM. Let me see if this is it. Nope. Give me just a second.
No, you're okay. You're good.
I think it's HEMAN something GISARCOMA. It's a cancer of the blood vessels, and it's a real fast growing cancer, and it can just come on you immediately, you know. But I feel bad because he went in for the way it happened, his urine was a little dark, and I took him in the first time, and they said it was an infection, and the doctor in Tullahoma said that he thinks he caught it in time, and I said, what do you mean you caught? And he said, well, the bilirubins were high in the urine. That means infection. Where's it coming from? Second time I took him in, and still infection, so he took doxycycline and prednisone. So he started acting strange on the prednisone.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't eaten his dog food in 2 weeks, so I have to feed him with a syringe.
Oh, no.
So in the last few days, he's getting a little weak.
What's his name?
Coco.
Coco. Okay.
Yeah, it's really makes me sad.
Well, I know. It does. Well, Bonnie, we're thinking.
I do believe, you know, that a lot of people listen to your show, and if there's any spiritual people out there that, you know, they would like to pray for him, don't pray for me, but pray for him.
How old is little Coco?
11.
11. Okay. Well, we're praying for him, Bonnie, and if I get any suggestions, I'll relate them to you. You keep listening, and if there's any opportunity for a suggestion, what is the well,
see, I don't have any money, okay? And even though people have money and they take them to have chemo and a lot of this immune therapy and stuff like that, you know, you can really put your money on them, and sometimes it just doesn't keep them alive. I know a man, his wife got a really strong chemo for her, and it messed her heart up and killed her. So I asked the doctor, when's he going to die, and he said he could die tonight, tomorrow, in a month. You know, we really don't know. But when it happens, the little blisters come up on their blood vessels, and if they pop like a balloon, they can bleed out internal.
Well, y'all, it's well, a lot of people are offering prayers up on the YouTube chat and on the Super Talk text line, Bonnie, and I'm offering prayers up too. I know they're family members. They're part of our lives, and they mean so much to us. And we're praying for Coco. And if anybody offers any suggestions that I think is worth relating to you, I certainly will, Bonnie.
Well, thank you, and thanks to everybody listening.
Of course. Absolutely, 100%. Thank you, Bonnie, for the call. God bless you. God bless Coco. And I hope everything works out as best as it can. 21 after the hour. We've got Afton Bain voters on the line. And I promised I wouldn't yell or try to dissuade them. But Kelly's going to talk with us. David's going to talk with us. If you're an Afton Bain voter and you want to talk with us, by all means, tell me what the deal is. 615-737-9986. We'll do that next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Very excited. Men of Valor is a wonderful organization, and coming up this coming Tuesday, the 2nd day of December, I will be at Valor Ridge. It is our one day of giving at Men of Valor at the Valor Ridge campus, a residential discipleship academy for the formerly incarcerated. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to describe to you and speak to you about everything they're doing at Valor Ridge to help bring the incarcerated back to living in society as givers as opposed to takers. And that's what it's all about at Men of Valor. They go into the prison system where these incarcerated folks are, obviously, and they reduce recidivism, and more than often it's over 70%. Nationwide, the figure's about 70% recidivism rate within 3 years. That means that those in the prison system that get out will be back into the prison system at a 70% rate. That's incredible. Men of Valor reduces that rate from 70% to less than 15%. Think about that for a minute. They are saving us money by that figure alone. And Men of Valor also saves lives. They save hearts. They give men lives on this earth, and they give them eternity in the next by teaching them about Jesus Christ. Primarily funded by individuals like you, family members, and churches. They need your support. Give as you can. Think about it, and we'll talk with you about it next Tuesday at the Men of Valor campus, or go now to movministry.com. That's movministry.com.
A press conference occurred here recently on the shooting of National Guardsmen in D.C., and it gives more details on things and problems, perhaps, with the Music City Loop Tunnel. We'll have those stories coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jay, did you have that accident near Arno Road at 840? I think it just happened. I just got a report on it.
Okay, yeah. No, nothing has popped up officially on that, but I'll certainly dig into it.
Yeah, 7732 says that a three-car accident on 840 westbound just past Arno Road. just happened, so y'all be on the lookout for that. Listen, folks.
I see that there. Okay, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, no problem at all. Jay Harper in the newsroom, also doing traffic duty. Our man, Jackson Williams, is behind the glass screening your telephone calls, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as possible. And your host is Matt Murphy until 7 o'clock tonight. So, obviously, 65 southbound, northbound. I mean, 65 is going to be insane for just a hot minute because of Thanksgiving traffic. We recognize that. Now, we had Bonnie call about Coco the dog, and someone suggested turkey tail. We give turkey tail to our dogs. It's a cancer fighter. So I didn't think about that. So, Bonnie, that might be an opportunity for you. Research it online. It's turkey tail mushrooms is what it is for Coco. You can research that. So there's that. All right. Did you tell him that it'll be after the bottom, or has he got to go now?
Let me inquire.
Yeah. We'll have more time. I just don't want to limit him on time. In the meantime, Kelly, I asked if there were any Afton voters in the audience, and I'm just curious why they are Afton voters. And Kelly said that she's voting or has voted for Afton. Kelly, you're on the radio. Good afternoon.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Yeah, I've been a long-time listener and supporter of 99.7, like all the way past Michael Del Giorno and back. And so I fully admit that, like, my intention at the start of this was to actually not vote for Afton. But I live in the Madison community, and I have witnessed her really take the concerns of this community to heart, and she has done that through working with the elder population that is here and really kind of talking with developers that are coming into Madison, helping to make sure that they will have housing as part of what's being built through Madison. I've seen her at different forums and just really in the community, and so that's something that I just really admire. And I actually love the fact, I believe she's come on your show a couple times. Is it yours, Matt?
She has come on our show in the past, yes.
Yeah, and I actually, once again, I really admire that, the fact that she's been brave enough to do that, and that she's willing to talk about kind of any topic with anybody. And I think she even met some 99.7 listeners for coffee. Like, she invited anyone who would want to go to coffee of the radio to come and have coffee with her. And she ended up meeting a couple people, and I love the fact that she was just willing to come to the table. So come to the table, whether it was with primarily Republican listeners, come to the table in our community to hear the concerns of what's happening. And so that's kind of why I have changed my vote.
Okay. So it was her willingness to speak with people that she perhaps might disagree. That's what I heard you say. I mean, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah, and I just think with Matt, like, I just haven't seen him be publicly out there. I haven't seen, I mean, I know kind of what his policies are, but as far as being in the communities and that kind of thing, I just haven't seen that investment. And so it was just refreshing for me to see somebody who was really out talking to the people.
Very good.
Yeah.
What
thanks for having me on.
What specific policy position of Afton's would you say most appeals to you?
I kind of started following her when she did the whole pot for pot. And then also the grocery tax is one that I do support of hers as well. So that would probably be the one that comes to mind.
Okay. Well, very good. I asked and answered. Thank you so much, Kelly, for responding to the call to action. And thank you for your call today. 615-737-9986. It's 4:30. We'll talk with Matt Van Epps, who I believe will be the next congressman from the 7th Congressional District, coming up after this following Tuesday. I don't believe this Emerson poll, as far as you can throw it. I'll explain that to you in just a couple of minutes, and we'll talk to Matt Van Epps himself right after this on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
"31 minutes past 4 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A full weather forecast for the holiday. It looks pretty good. And we'll have the traffic update for you. It doesn't look very good. FBI Director Kash Patel said that 2 West Virginia National Guard members shot on Wednesday just blocks from the White House are still alive. and are in critical condition. West Virginia's governor initially said the troops had died, but later walked back the statement to say his office was receiving conflicting reports about their condition. The governor's office did not immediately respond to questions about the attack and the condition of the troops. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser said the Guard members were in critical condition as well in a hospital, and also said it was a targeted shooting. A suspect now in custody was also shot and had wounds that are not believed to be life-threatening. An estimated $240 million in private funding is going toward the Boring Company's Music City Loop, which, as I'm sure most of you know, is a planned tunnel that would connect Nashville's airport to downtown. Project leaders have emphasized that no taxpayer dollars are being used in the construction. Construction began several months ago, but a key subcontractor, according to News 2, now says his company is no longer involved. William Shane, part owner of Shane Trucking and Excavating, confirms his team has quit the project, saying they haven't been paid and that they've gotten very poor communication from the Boring Company. According to Shane, his company's contract required them to complete all preliminary site work before the tunneling could begin, including preparing the platform and launching pad for the actual excavation. That is the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. Let's get you the update as today is a getaway day for many folks. We've got an injury crash now, 24 eastbound just before exit 8. 3 vehicles involved there. That's up near Clarksville. The right shoulder's blocked in the Pegram area. They finally got this wreck out of the way on I-40 eastbound right there near exit 192, but there are still delays. An injury crash, we do have this reported now. I-840 westbound just before exit 34, the Paytonsville exit, 3 vehicles there, and that also is an injury crash. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes in the morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Eurofix. If you want a place where European auto repair does not feel like European auto repair, I'm here to tell you when you walk into Eurofix, you'll notice the difference. Eurofix is not your typical greasy garage. Waiting rooms, they're clean. They're spotless, as a matter of fact. Service areas are as well. Why? Because Eurofix cares about everything from how you're treated to how your vehicle is treated to how clean their shop is. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs performed by Eurofix and at below-dealer pricing. At below dealer pricing. You don't have to put up with dealer prices or get ghosted waiting on a callback. Eurofix fixes everything European. Plus, you get a rental car with every appointment. Locations at Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. 5 separate locations to serve you. Make the call that so many others have made. If you have issues over the holidays or you're just trying to get your car fixed, 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX, or visit MyEurofix.com. MyEurofix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I certainly hope that you voted early. If not, your voting opportunity comes next Tuesday if you live in the 7th Congressional District. And to encourage you to go and vote and to explain to you the importance of your vote, we welcome back to the show Matt Van Epps, who joins us on the Murphy Show hotline to talk about the finish line, which is in sight now. Matt, good afternoon. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Matt, thank you so much. Honored to be on with you again. And we're really excited. We've got great momentum, and we're pushing really hard to next Tuesday, December 2nd.
You know, I don't know what to make of this poll. I don't believe this new poll that came out from this liberal polling organization for a moment, but I also want to present it like it's true to make sure that all the conservatives know how important it is for them to get out to vote, because here's the deal. This district, you know the district better than me, Matt. You've been canvassing this thing for the last how many months. These are conservative-minded people that do not need a radical like Afton Bain in their world, and certainly in Congress. And if they know that there's a vote and they get out to vote, I don't think we have to worry about this thing. But at the same time, we need to make sure that they're aware of it, correct?
I think that's exactly right. We are out in front. Our margin's only growing. It's only grown over the last 48 hours. I was in Montgomery County. I was in Clarksville earlier today, and the line was literally out the door. And the number of people, as we were standing with our team, who were honking their horns and celebrating as they drove by, was just really incredible. And we got reports back from Robertson and Cheatham, Williamson, of just great turnout for us. And so we're in a great position. We do need everyone who has not voted to put the jerseys on, get on the field, and vote on December 2nd. It's so critical. We can't risk anything in this, because my opponent is as far left as you can get.
Well, you know, we will cover these radical concepts that she espouses. We talk about some of the things that she believes in. But I want to spend a moment and give you an opportunity to talk to the voters of the 7th Congressional District that maybe like to wait till Election Day to go vote, about what you believe in and what you will take to Washington, D.C., and what you believe in terms of representing the people of the 7th.
Well, I appreciate that. And to start, I'm just going to go back through my background here real quick. I'm a Christian, a husband, a father. I'm an America First conservative. I'm a combat veteran. I'm a West Point grad, part of the class of 9/11, and was an Army helicopter pilot. I flew Apache attack helicopters, deploying to Iraq with that unit, and then served with the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, a Night Stalker, as a MH-47 Golf Chinook pilot, fully mission qualified, pilot in command, air mission commander, and outstation commander, deploying to Afghanistan 8 times with that unit. Came back and worked in small business here in Tennessee, served in Tennessee state government, most recently as the commissioner of the Department of General Services. And I'm still serving today in the Tennessee Army National Guard as a lieutenant colonel, as a deputy brigade commander. And the things that background is one of the differentiators. It's a background in service. It's a background in real world boots on the ground leadership, so that when we get to Congress, we will fight forward to advance America first, to fight alongside the president and the speaker. And there's a whole lot of things that we stand for: battling inflation, secure borders, tax cuts, protecting our kids, cheaper gas, supporting veterans and law enforcement, ending wars around the globe. And one of the things that I think we're hearing quite often is about cost of living. And it is a very good point. We have got to continue to address cost of living. And we're going to do that by addressing housing. We need more affordable housing for workers closer to their workplace, by continuing to keep taxes low, to cut more taxes, to cut red tape and have less regulations, to focus on getting healthcare costs under control. The president and the speaker have signaled their willingness to negotiate on healthcare. I think there are a couple of really good examples. When we look up to Clarksville, when government gets out of the way and the private sector is able to respond, we have 2 new hospitals going in Clarksville. That'll increase access, drive down costs. The competition will be really good, and we'll see good outcomes from that. We've got to continue to work price transparency, cost transparency, and quality outcome transparency in healthcare. We've got to continue to get the cost of at the pump and utilities lower, and we do that by unleashing America's energy dominance through oil, gas, and nuclear. And with all of that, child care is also something we need to continue to improve. I know I've got a young daughter right now, and my wife works full time. And so that's very apparent to us as well. And we're going to fight to do that so that our farmers, our families, our businesses can thrive, and we continue to push forward in a really great direction.
Matt Van Epps, our guest. He is running for the 7th Congressional District in the special election that culminates in the vote this coming Tuesday. We spoke about this a little bit yesterday when you were gracious enough to welcome Mike Johnson on the show with us, the Speaker of the House, and we had a brief conversation there. But I want to double down on it today. I mean, the margins cannot be more razor thin in the halls of Congress, and with Marjorie Taylor Greene announcing that she'll be retiring in January, I don't expect that seat will be immediately filled. So that makes it even more important that the Republican Party lock together to try to advance the ball before the midterm elections. I don't want 2026 to be a lost year because of gridlock, and I think it could be that very well if we don't win this election, Matt.
I think you're exactly right. As we talked with the speaker, and it was great that he was on your program. This is as close as it gets. When he's told me a number of times now he doesn't think he's seen a more important or critical race, because we are that close. Where you look at the landscape across the country in California and these other races, it sometime next year. I mean, this could be down to just this thing, and even sooner could be down to this single vote. And it's about the direction we want to move this country. If we want to move it in a direction that supports America first and drives all of the great outcomes that we're seeing now, or if we want to move it in a socialist direction for values that are not good for our district, our state, or our country. And that's what this vote means. This is a vote for the very fabric of America, and it's why it's so important that your listeners, that folks in the Tennessee 7th Congressional District, get out and vote on December 2nd for Matt Van Epps.
Matt, people tell me that Matt Van Epps is such an even-keeled guy. And I know you have to get this from time to time, and I think you take it as a badge of honor that Matt Van Epps is even-keeled. Some might even say a little boring. Now, I'm not saying that to knock you, but I don't think you're helping yourself, Matt, when you're standing next to Kid Rock on Broadway.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Matt, I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And so honored to have his support and endorsement, and his kind of calling out our opponent. But you might be right. I think it goes back to just years of training, Ranger School, survival school, combat, and trying to be unflappable during times of high stress and high emotion.
Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck. We thank you for making appearances on the show during the campaign. And, look, I want a commitment from you, Matt. If you win this congressional seat, please come on and speak to the people of the 7th Congressional District while you're sitting congressman. Will you agree to that? Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not going to monopolize your time, but I want to make sure that because if anything, we try to bring the elected officials to the people and ask the questions that the people are interested in hearing answers to. So we hope we can continue that down the road. And obviously, we wish you the best of luck this coming Tuesday. And unless it gets lost, I want to make sure that I wish you and your family a very special and happy Thanksgiving.
Matt, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. If I can just mention one final thing here, Meg and I are just saddened by this attack against 2 National Guardsmen who are deployed to protect our nation's capital. We're thinking about them and their loved ones. We're praying for them. We're praying for their families. I know that those responsible will be brought to justice, and it just goes to show. And as we approach Thanksgiving, there's so many first responders, law enforcement, National Guard, military deployed to our communities and around the world who are there to protect us, keep us safe. I'm so grateful for them and their families. Wish them happy Thanksgiving and hope they get a moment to recharge. And we think about those defending our capital. Well, Matt, thank you so much.
Well, and thank you. Well, and let me, if you don't mind, 30-second follow up on this.
Yeah,
Matt. I got very, very emotional when I started the show today when we were learning about this attack against 2 National Guardsmen, because we don't know the motives, the individual motives, and I'm not suggesting that I do. But at the same time, it causes me to reflect on some of the awful rhetoric that the political left has used against National Guardsmen here in Memphis, in our state, in Washington, D.C., and beyond, talking about ICE agents like they're Gestapo and making comparisons to Nazi Germany. It's this type of rhetoric that potentially can lead to an unhinged person feeling like they have permission to do these types of things. We got to stop this stuff.
I agree, Matt. It's totally unacceptable. These are patriots. These are our community members who put the uniform on to go out and serve and protect us. They're the ICE agents, the Tennessee Highway Patrol are just great people. I'm friends with so many current and former, both law enforcement and military, and they're one of us, or our communities, and they decide to put themselves in harm's way every single day to protect us and our families, to give families in Memphis an opportunity to walk safely down the street. That's what they're doing in D.C. I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for their families who are also serving when their law enforcement or military member serves as well.
Matt, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you get a little time off to spend with family and friends, and then back after it leading up to Election Day this coming Tuesday. Thank you for being on with us, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Matt.
All right, take care. This is Matt Van Epps, running for the 7th Congressional District. Listen, I mentioned it to him. People say, well, Van Epps, he seems kind of boring. He seems kind of even-keeled. And I get that. That is in his personality. I understand that. But if you set these two candidates side by side, I don't think there's any question. Or even add the other candidates in the race. I don't think there's any question who the superior candidate is. Now, David is going to disagree with me when we come back from our break, because David is an Afton-Bain voter. And I asked for Afton-Bain voters to make a call, to take a stand, and to explain to us why they've decided to vote for Afton. And we've got David on the line that's going to do just that right after this on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So I get asked quite often when I'm not on the radio, when I see people out and about, hey, is that Grace Point Healthcare? Is it really what you're saying that it is? I mean, that seems a little weird. And I'm like, no, this is the way that it goes. I know that the insurance companies want you to believe that you have to have your insurance card at the ready when you walk through the doors of a doctor's office. But at Grace Point Healthcare, it's not the case. They want to see you, and you can be seen same day or next day. They don't make you wait a long time, especially if you're sick. Why would you do that? But let me tell you, this direct pay primary care format is the way that it should be. It's the way that it was for a long, long time, meaning that you work with your doctor, you pay Grace Point Healthcare, and then you file with your insurance company for reimbursement. That makes sense, right? Because you don't want the insurance company dictating to the doctor how they treat you. That shouldn't be the way that it is. That relationship should be sacrosanct. Plus, at Grace Point Healthcare, they want to make sure that they get to the root of the problem, not just the symptoms of the issue that you might be experiencing. And you can sign up for the Smart Care Plan, which gives you unlimited access to Grace Point throughout the course of the year for doctor's visits and free basic labs and diagnostics with that cost. $99 a month for adults, $79 a month for the youngsters. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way in Franklin. 599-6868, 599-6868.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
You know, I was thinking about heading to Genesis Diamonds soon to buy Jackson Williams a nice pre-owned Rolex for, Christmas. I was thinking about it, but then I thought, no, I don't like Jackson that much. Although the prices make it very tempting. They've got great prices on pre-owned Rolex at Genesis Diamonds, and you can buy that home run gift for the holiday season for the loved one in your life. This weekend, as a matter of fact, at Genesis, a massive Black Friday blowout sale on lab-grown diamond stud earrings. Now, listen to these prices. Most popular holiday gift is now an unbelievable price. 2-carat lab-grown diamond studs, $499. 3 carats at $799. A 4-carat pair of diamond stud earrings, $999 at Genesis Diamonds. You've never seen certified diamond studs at prices like these, and they are certified, and they are beautiful. And, guys, it's just this easy. Studs are the way to go. Studs for you studs out there. Classic, timeless, something she can wear every day or for a special occasion. So hurry in this Friday, Saturday, and Cyber Monday. Genesis Diamond store hours and more at genesisdiamonds.com. That's genesisdiamonds.com. While supplies last, see store for details. Genesis Diamonds.
We will have more on today's D.C. National Guard shooting. And in light of the events in the nation's capital, more troops are headed there. We'll have those stories at 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You know, I love some of these keyboard warriors that hit us up on the super text line during these times. For example, 2242 says, Cash Patel, a.k.a. Cross-Eyed Johnny Quest, LOL, just another jackbooted thug of the MAGA Nazi regime of the one and only Orange Jabba the Hutt. Sieg Heil, Cash Patel, Nazi salute. You know, sometimes I'm predisposed just to give people their telephone numbers on the radio. You know what I mean? Just announce the telephone number and let y'all deal with them. And so I don't have to. You're welcome to call 2242 and express your disgust with the current administration. I'm happy to talk with you about it in a sensible, reasonable way. Speaking of that, David is on the line, and David says he's an Afton voter and wanted to express why. Thank you for holding, David. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Matt. I'm doing all right. And can I say a couple things real quick?
Yeah, of course.
One, I've been following you for a long time. Most of the time for S&G, but I got to tell you something. I like it when you get mad at folks, and you've been great on this station. Now, two, thank you for putting Kelly between me and that one call, or else I would feel as awkward as a preacher taking up a collection at a funeral. And I'm just thinking about all those clinics and vets out there who spay and neuter, who could have saved so much pain.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that really broke my heart. But Matt, it's good to talk to you. I heard your challenge. I just wanted to call in and tell you why I'm going to do what I do.
Okay.
All right. Now, here's the thing. I've been around for a hot minute.
Hey, David, can I interrupt you for just a second? I'm sorry to do this.
Sure.
So I want to have a careful and considered conversation, and I don't want to rush you. And Jackson's given me the, hey, we got to go to the news sign. Do you have like 2 minutes or 3 minutes that you can wait and we can talk on the other side of the news?
My friend, I've been on hold for 30 minutes. I just got back from Waffle House, and I drank too much coffee. So if I come online and say, put me on hold, you know why.
All right. Well, I'm going to put you on hold. And you have time, David. Put the phone down, hit the head, get back to it. because I don't want to rush you. Because I'll get accused. You see, David, if I made you tell us why you vote for Afton in 20 seconds, then people go, oh, see what you did there, Murphy. You asked for people to call, and then you're rushing them, and I don't want all of that. So, David, you go. I like you already because you're hitting Waffle House. I didn't know Afton Bain voters ate at Waffle House. See, I learned something new. I thought y'all went over to Woke Cracker Barrel. That's a joke, Cracker Barrel. That's a joke. 2 more hours to go. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 1 minute past 5 p.m., and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Your holiday forecast and a traffic report are just mere minutes away. 2 West Virginia National Guard members who deployed to the nation's capital were shot today, just blocks from the White House. FBI Director Kash Patel and Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser said the Guard members were hospitalized in critical condition. Bowser went on to say they were victims of what she termed a targeted shooting. The West Virginia governor initially said the troops had died, but later walked back the statement to say his office was receiving conflicting reports about their condition. The governor's office did not immediately respond to questions about the attack and the condition of the troops. Metropolitan Police Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll says this appears to have been a targeted attack against the guardsmen.
The suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring them into custody.
And it is reported that that individual taken into custody was also shot and has non-life-threatening injuries. Well, the Pentagon says following the shooting there of those Guard members, more troops, hundreds more, will be heading to the nation's capital.
Departing from meetings in the Dominican Republic, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth responded to the shooting with word that the president has ordered 500 more National Guardsmen to D.C.
This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful.
The National Guard component in D.C. has been just under 2,200. Most of the troops have come from GOP-led states. Last week, a federal judge ordered an end to the deployment in the city, calling it unlawful, a ruling the administration is appealing.
A woman arrested at the mall at Green Hills on organized retail crime and theft charges was released on $10,000 bond yesterday. Fox 17 reports that Brianna McCarroll, 25 years of age, is accused of being part of a group that entered Nordstrom earlier this month and stole thousands of dollars worth of clothing. The group reportedly just grabbed the stuff and just went out the door, went out the mall. Police later recovered some of the stolen merchandise being sold on Facebook by McCarroll and her associates. Authorities are working to locate the remaining suspects, 2 of whom are known to organized retail crime detectives from previous incidents. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. I-24 eastbound just before Rossview Road up in Montgomery County. We've got an injury accident there, and actually another one has popped up in the same spot. 840 westbound before exit 34. 3 vehicles involved in an injury accident. That's near the Paytonsville Road exit. 40 eastbound near McQuarrie Lane. That wreck has been there for a couple of hours. There were a couple of them there involving multiple vehicles. It's been pushed over to the right shoulder, but still affecting traffic. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, underway for another hour. The 5 o'clock hour, as a matter of fact, 8 minutes past. Many of you off work, many of you getting ready for the Thanksgiving Day festivities, and I appreciate every one of you for listening to the Matt Murphy Show this afternoon. Thank you. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. We're going to break down some holiday traditions and whatnot, food type stuff. Coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, looking forward to that. Would love to hear from you, 615-737-9986. I'm getting back to David in just a moment. He said he was an Afton Bain voter and wanted to express his reasons why. I appreciate that because I asked for that. I said, I don't know if we can find them. Surely there's some out there, and we've gotten 2, as a matter of fact. And we'll get back to David in just a moment. Jackson, I thought I had a victorious nincompoop in the news, but Y'all got to be careful out here in these mean streets because I don't think this is real. I'm going to go ahead and declare that this can't be real.
What is it?
Tullahoma, Tennessee. I can't find a legitimate news station that has carried this story. I only found this on Facebook, and I almost, you know how it goes. There's a lot of these things.
Ken got.
He did. In an incident that city officials are calling deeply regrettable but incredibly memorable, a civilian employee working at Arnold Air Force Base was taken into custody in Tullahoma after allegedly sabotaging his own going-away cake with mission-critical payload of laxatives. 44-year-old employee identified in the report only as BW to spare everyone further. See, you could tell. To spare everyone further embarrassment, had spent years working on the base logistics before deciding it was time to relax, retire, and stop answering emails from people who never read the first one. It goes on to say as part of his going-away celebration, he covertly modified his going-away cake with what was estimated to be over 10 boxes of laxatives. The dessert was served to approximately 120 attendees, and within an hour, the jet had achieved exactly the kind of propulsion its creator allegedly intended. See, this is just not a real story.
It's fake.
But I wish it was. Sometimes you wish it was a real story, but it's not a real story.
Ken had a naked grandma on an interstate. That was his AI story.
That was was it Louisiana?
No, Kansas.
Okay. We had one that came from Louisiana that got discovered to be fake, too. You got to watch out with these nincompoops in the news. Got to watch out. And that was actually sent to me by a loyal listener. Okay, back to David. David was gracious enough to hold. He was going to tell us why he decided that he was voting or will vote for Afton Bain. So, David, first off, what'd you have at Waffle House?
Piedmont plate, scattered smothered covered up in Springfield.
Love it.
Michaela was my waitress.
All right.
And I got to tell you right now, that young lady rocks. She is as cool as a $2 bill.
I dig it. I dig everything about it. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, talk to me, David. What led you to your decision making?
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I've been around for more than a minute. And ever since 2001, this country has become nothing more than a Greek tragedy or a long story that everyone claims they've read but doesn't know a thing about. And I'm not saying that we've become a police state, but I remember what life was before, and I've seen what life has become after. And all I know is you pick a side and you go with it. Now, here's the thing about Afton.
Can I ask a question before you get to that? So you believe, so just so I'm make sure I'm hearing you correctly, you believe that we are living in a police state right now?
We're getting there. Can I tell you a story? I was at a local town up here, and there was a parade. Now, our parade is people walking in front of their dinged-up Honda Civics and, you know, the whatever pickup truck they have throwing candy. Okay?
Sure.
Sorry for my misstep. But
no, you're good.
We had the Cheatham County Deputies Department there, and this was the Obama years when they gave away a bunch of equipment. And our little county, just north of Nashville, had armored vehicles and SWAT teams in the parade with 80-year-old women throwing out them little strawberry candies that no one eats.
Oh yeah. My grandmother used to have those in her dress pockets.
You know that and the hard mints. We all remember the hard mints. Can't do that post-COVID. But I got to thinking then it's like, what are we becoming? Now I watch a news story and something's been done and the police track them down, and then you find out, you know, how they can track you through cameras and how they can track you through your phone and how they can do this. And I'm not saying we've become a police state. What I'm saying is we've become something that we weren't supposed to be. So pick a side and fight with the side. And now Afton comes along and she's feeling blue. Well, now I'm Democrat, and I will side with blue every time. Why? That's my side. I've seen it go down the toilet, no matter which side is in. So I have to pick a side, and I'm going to pull the lever.
David, what informs you that you're a Democrat?
I always have been. My dad was a Blue Dog Democrat, and he said, you know, son, listen to me. He said, look, blue dogs have fleas, but as long as they suck enough blood and have enough babies, we survive and go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, my grandfather was a Democrat back in the day when everyone in the South was a Democrat. But I'm asking you, and I'll just kind of double down. What informs you right now in 2025 that you're a Democrat?
I don't have to be informed, Matt. That's the thing I'm trying to tell you.
Well,
I don't like voting every vote I give. What I do is know that I'm doing something, and that's all that matters.
Well,
that's
can
my
I
side.
can
They
I ask
have
the
my vote.
Can I ask the question a slightly different way? Then I don't mean I'm not trying to badger you. I'm curious, naturally curious. What leads you to vote Democrat? What policy positions? What ideological mindset brings you? I mean, you can say, "Well, I've always done it that way," but why did you always do it that way? I mean, are you just doing it because your dad did it, or is there something about the Democrat Party that you gravitate to?
All right. Now, Matt Murphy, you're talking to Dave Bowman, okay?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question and reply? And I don't like doing this because I know how.
No, sure, that's fine.
You're a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Yes.
Can you name me one set, one formation, one stat, or anything out there that makes you a Georgia Bulldog fan, or does it just seem natural to you?
Well, I grew up being a Georgia Bulldog fan, sure.
So you kind of understand what I'm saying. Life
No, I sure don't, because I don't believe that football and politics are the same thing.
You don't believe life is a game.
Well, I mean,
there's winners and losers. And I missed that call right before me. I left the room. I swear I thought someone said they were mad at Epstein. I didn't catch what they said. I just remember Kelly, and God bless her, because I didn't want to follow that other lady with Coco. I'm telling you right now. But
David, what about? I mean, so I can tell you that I root for the Georgia Bulldogs. I can tell you that football is not politics. I'm just asking you why you root for the Democrats. You don't know?
I don't think it's that. I think when a person grows up, what they grow up with is what Mama and Daddy taught them, and what Grandma and Grandpa put in them. And when their God and the fear of life is on the line, you're going to go with what you know. And by God, I'm going to go with what I know. What
do you get from the Democrats? In other words, if I watch the Georgia Bulldog, I mean, I don't like comparing it to football, but I'll try to do it just because you brought it up. What about the Democrats do you believe represents you? Why are they worthy of your vote? What do you think they do to advance the cause of the Constitution of the United States of America?
Sir, we live in Tennessee. Now, you can ask your normal producer or anyone else that it doesn't really matter as long as you get us some wins. And I don't care, because hopefully eventually something I like is going to sneak through.
Okay, David, what wins are the Democrats bringing you in the last 20 years?
Well, if you knew my last 20 years, it ain't an easy one, but there's probably some of them other folks out there on the other side say the same.
Okay, so we're
all in this together. We're all in the stands, my friend.
What specifically about Afton Bain are you voting for?
Matt, you're putting me up against the wall, and I don't ever like it when another man puts me up against a wall. But I got to tell you, she creates a show. So I know Tennessee is going to be in the news, and I'm hoping she's going to come out and she's going to apologize for them things she said and say she's wrong. And, you know, maybe enough time with enough wise counsel. And that's what Washington's supposed to be, is wise counsel. That's what we have 535 people up there in the Capitol, is so they can give counsel to each other. They're not pulling the levers. They're there to counsel each other and hopefully counsel the one sitting in the Oval Office.
Who's your favorite Democrat?
So
who's your favorite Democrat?
Well, you're going to have to go back a ways. Tell you the truth. I loved Kennedy. I loved Truman. Now, that was a Democrat who wasn't afraid to drop a nuclear bomb on someone. Let me tell you something right there. You want to say America? Democrats invented America way back when, and you can't argue with me on that.
Dave, I don't believe you're a Democrat. I think you're pulling my leg. I think you're putting me on. That's what I think.
What?
I do.
Born man, Dave.
I do.
Why would you think that?
I do. Because I cannot believe that someone that seems as reasonable and sensible as you would vote for such a nonsensical, unreasonable political party like the Democrats. I just can't believe it.
Matt, I tell you what. All right? Y'all have my number. I got your number.
Yeah.
You and I meet for a breakfast.
Okay.
And we'll go to that Springfield Waffle House.
All right.
And I pray God it's Michaela, because she's a
good.
peach on the tree.
She's good.
Okay? You a Georgia boy, you appreciate that comment.
Yeah.
Now, you listen now. When we get the bill, I'll let you pay the bill, and that'll prove I'm a Democrat.
I hung up on him. Just leave it on a high note. Leave it on a high note.
That's a pretty good end.
I get to pay, and that proves he's a Democrat. That's true. That's true. I don't know. You think Dave was pulling our leg?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm kind of up in the air. Part of me believes that, and part of me says, there's a lot of people. Look, my grandfather was not a political guy, and my grandfather probably didn't vote the last 20 years of his life. In fact, I won't even say probably. My grandfather did not vote the last 20 years of his life. He died at the age of 86 in 2015. So, I imagine the last person my grandpa voted for might have been the last Democrat that I voted for, which was Bill Clinton in 1992. That's the last Democrat that I've ever voted for. The only Democrat that I've ever voted for. I guess maybe I voted for a couple of local elected officials during that same time. But my grandfather would tell you that, hey, Pa, are you a Democrat or a Republican? And he would say, his answer would be, I'm not rich. That would be his answer, as if that answered everything. Pa, are you a Democrat or a Republican? I'm not rich. So there is an old school version of Democrats that they wouldn't vote. I mean, if Beelzebub himself had a D behind his name, well, Beelzebub's getting a vote. But I don't know that Dave's telling the truth. I hope not. I'll take you up on that Waffle House. All you got to do, Dave, is vote for Matt Van Epps for the 7th Congressional District, and I'll pay for Waffle House. Otherwise, you might be on your own. 22 after the hour on Super Talk. You bring up a good point. Jackson in my ear just said, Matt Murphy trying to buy votes from listeners for Matt. No, that's, I was just joking around. I'm not doing that unless it works. But one way or the other, y'all don't call the news and say that I'm trying to buy votes on the radio. It can be hard to find someone that you trust when it comes to large home repairs like your heater, your air conditioner. Jeff Eddy is a person that you can trust. Efficient Heating and Cooling. They're a small company with big results, and Jeff Eddy and his crew, they do what is right the first time and every time. A lot of times when you call a heating and air conditioning unit out to your home for a problem that you might be experiencing with your heater, for example, their default is to replace it because they make more money that way and it's easier. Frankly, that should not be the default. And Jeff Eddy understands that. He wants to fix the problem because you get extra life out of the unit when you do that, and that saves you a lot of money. Now, when it's time. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help you select the right heating unit for you, and they have financing options available at the time. Jeff Eddy wants to fix it first, though, and he will do so if at all possible. Call him today at 615-784-4424. No overtime on weekends or nights. 784-4424 for Efficient Heating and Cooling.
Boy, that guy's everywhere. Hey, we will indeed have an update now on the National Guard members that were tragically shot up in Washington, D.C., so please stand by for that. Also, we'll have the day's closing money news before we head to the Thanksgiving holiday. Stay with us. It's all at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I demanded of Jackson Williams that he plays Thanksgiving songs today, and you see what we get? We get this.
You did not demand that. You demanded a turkey gobble, which you then scratched.
Well, give me a turkey gobble. We can do some gobbling. You throw it away? Let's see what you came up with. That's pretty good. Give me one more. Sounds like liberals. That's what I hear when a liberal calls me. That's what I hear. The general consensus on the YouTube chat and on the Super Text line is that Dave was a troll. I don't know. Maybe Dave was being real. Who knows? I would not besmirch Dave's character by suggesting that he was lying to us, but I find it hard to believe that even a liberal Democrat can't figure out one reason why they're a liberal Democrat. Maybe Trevor can help us out. Trevor, what's going on?
Hey, I appreciate your show, Murphy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Trevor. What, are you an Afton voter?
No, I'm always voting Republican, but this guy that's running, this Van Epps guy, he don't respond to email. And if that's the way he is, then I'd rather just let her win. And then in 6 months, when we have the midterms, get a real Republican in there. And the other thing that makes me think this guy's not a serious candidate, how come he hadn't called the mayor out and say, do you support this Democrat saying she hates our city? I live in Nashville, and I'm quite appalled that the governor, the mayor, the city council, nobody calls this lady out. So maybe he's not a real conservative as far as I'm concerned. And if you can talk to him, would you ask him something? I've been sending him emails every week. He don't respond to people in his district, for one thing. The second thing, Murphy, I want to know where he stands on banning Congress people from trading stocks and also term limits. But I'm a lifetime Republican. And I'm tired of these guys getting in office and they don't respond to their constituents. They need to be more like Murphy. That you talk to the people, you try to find out what's going on, just like you're letting me talk. How come this guy can't do that?
What? So you're emailing him through like his campaign website?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean that's a problem. I mean if that's happening and you're not getting any response, one would expect that you would get something, and if you're not, then that's an issue.
Yeah. Another thing is, former Governor Bill Haslam. He's a never Trumper. This guy came out of that camp. I'm just wondering if this isn't an anti-MAGA guy. But anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Just let this lady win, this crazy liberal, and then in 6 months we'll get a real conservative in there. Somebody like that Jody Barrett. That guy he'd come on your show and answer questions all day long. I always enjoyed your show. And this guy don't do it.
I don't know. Jody, some people have accused Jody of kind of being a never-Trumper because Trump wanted to vote for school choice and Jody was against it. Jody called Trump a liberal douchebag.
Yeah, and so did J.D. Vance.
Yeah,
and,
that's fair.
So anyway, I think the Republican Party, if we don't get control, get some people in there that responds to the people, somebody like Murphy that actually takes calls, has conversations, and these guys that want to get in office and don't respond to their constituents, if he's not doing it now, what makes you think he'll do it once he's elected? I tell you what,
I mean, you're telling me something new, Trevor, and I'll take you at your word that you're texting him or emailing him rather every day or every week or whatnot, and he's not responding. I hate that. If that's the case, then we'll try to get up on it and see what the deal is. Something tells me that Trevor was a Jody Barrett fan, and he's still a little butthurt over the fact that Jody Barrett lost the primary, but I wouldn't suggest that with Trevor right there on the line. But I do have to go to the news, Trevor. I appreciate you. Appreciate your telephone call. And obviously, if Matt Van Epps is not being responsive to your emails, we'll ask him about it next time we have him on. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
We are coming up on 32 minutes now past the hour of 5 o'clock. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you a full forecast and that traffic report that I know a lot of you are wondering about as you try to head to Grandma's house here this evening. 2 National Guard members from West Virginia, they were rushed to the hospital after they were shot in downtown D.C. near the White House earlier today. According to D.C. law enforcement officials, a suspect is in custody and the scene has been secured.
FBI Director Kash Patel says the attack is being investigated as an attack on federal law enforcement officers.
2 of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition.
Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser called it a targeted shooting. Federal and city officials wouldn't say what the suspect's motive was, saying it's still the preliminary stages of the investigation.
Now let's get to today's closing money news. For that, we have Michelle Frenzen.
Tech companies helped lead another rally with the major indexes all seeing their 4th straight gain. The Dow added 314 points, the S&P rose 46, and the Nasdaq grew 189 points. Dell Technologies climbed 5% after saying it got an order for its artificial intelligence servers. Nvidia, Microsoft, and Broadcom also rose. Robinhood markets jumped 10% for the biggest gain among S&P 500 companies after the trading platform said it plans to roll out a futures and derivatives exchange next year. On the losing end was Deere & Company, which lost 5% after the farm equipment maker cited tariffs when lowering its forecast. The average 30-year mortgage rate fell to 6.2% last week, ending 3 straight weeks of increases. The stock exchange, Nasdaq, and bond markets will be closed on Thanksgiving. Markets reopen for a shortened day of trading Friday.
That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. I-65 southbound now, just past I-840. That's exit 59. That bottleneck there's always a mess, but now we've got a crash there. 24 eastbound in Murfreesboro, right before you get to Joe B. Jackson Parkway. That's exit 84. We've got a crash there as well. Also, Lebanon Pike east of Andrew Jackson Parkway in Hermitage, a wreck reported. And still trying to clear this wreck. We've had several of them in the same spot. 40 westbound just before exit 192. They're trying to clear another wreck there. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
If you took my advice and you went to Savory Spice and you stocked up on all of these delicious flavors that help make the holiday better, then you did it the right way. If you did not do that, then that's probably a problem. But don't you worry, because Savory Spice will be back after the Thanksgiving holiday, and they'll be providing delicious spices and seasonings and all of the flavors of the season. We'll move from Thanksgiving on to the Christmas holiday season. There's a lot of baking. There's a lot of cooking that goes on during the holidays, and it's time to restock those shelves, restock those cupboards with the delicious spices from Savory Spice. You go with the best at Savory Spice, and you don't have to pay more. I mean, as a matter of fact, in a lot of ways, you pay less, and they reduce their prices when available. When they get a price reduction, they give the price reduction right to you at Savory Spice. Love that about Holly David and the rest of the crew, the rest of the team. Holly was telling me, hold on, I need to tell you something real quick. I need to look this up on the fly because Holly was telling me something about some of the savings that they have going on. Oh, Black Friday special. It's their $100 for a $100 special. Spend $100 and get $100 in credit to spend in 2026. Okay? So if you spend $100 on Black Friday, you get a $100 credit for free spices throughout the 2026 calendar year. That is on Black Friday, and that's direct from Holly to you from Savory Spice. They say, Happy Thanksgiving. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what? I give thanks to all of you, every single one of you. And I appreciate you being on the line, whether it's Steve or Kevin or John or Mike. And all of you will get an opportunity to opine and speak to the masses after we do Nincompoops, which we'll do in just a moment. In the meantime, 9400 writes in and says, why are we spending $40 million a month on the Taliban in Afghanistan, and why won't neither of them answer pieces of bleep? That would be Blackburn and Haggerty, saying that he had emailed Blackburn and Haggerty twice with no response. We are not spending $40 million a month on the Taliban in Afghanistan. To my knowledge, we are not spending any more money in Afghanistan since the pullout initiated by Donald Trump and disastrously implemented by Joe Biden. So if your senators aren't responding to you, I don't know why. I don't know that I can speak to that, but do a little research and you'll learn that we're no longer spending that amount of money in Afghanistan. That was the entire point of getting us out of that forever war. I'll tell you what time it is. It's 5:41. It's time for Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hit it!
Nincompoops in the News.
I have a candidate in the running right now for Nincompoops in the News. Nincompoops in the control room. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, what was I going to give you hell about earlier? I can't remember. What was it? I was going to give you such the business about you're against something. What? Jackson, do you remember what it was? I was going to give you hell about something.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, I remember what it was. Jackson, y'all remember we had that nice caller, Gary, that called yesterday about the bridge, the old Stone Fort Bridge, and at the old Stone Fort Park, State Park. Jackson said that was the most boring call that we've ever had. And that
there was another one I remembered.
Jackson said
you remember that one?
Jackson said.
Do you remember? No, you looked at a caller. No, you looked at a caller a month ago and said, if I let you continue to talk, I will no longer have a job at this radio station.
That's correct. I did say that, but it's true because you're I said you're single-handedly ruining my radio career. Jackson said that he didn't give a crap about the old Stone Fort Bridge, and that
I did not say that.
You did too. Don't you lie? You said I don't even care if they tear it down.
I did not.
He
say
did too,
that.
y'all. He did.
He's
lying now, but he said it.
Slander against my character, and I will not stand for it.
Jay Harper's back in News Closet B, and I bet Jay's got a nincompoop. Jay, what do you got over there?
Yeah, since when I do these fill-ins, I really don't get an opportunity to prepare for this segment like I would like to, and especially with the horrible news events. I've been kind of wrapped up in that. But I'm going to give it a shot here, but don't really judge me. And I have a feeling that this may be a repeat.
The entire premise of the segment is to judge it.
That's true. Yeah, see, that's why you're the host, and I'm just a dumb fill-in guy.
No.
All right, well, we're going to give it a try. See, I also have the disadvantage of not knowing whether these have been done or not. But
we're going to give you a pass on all of this. All right.
Okay, Karen Cooper. She gives new meaning to the term tree hugger. About a year ago, city officials began to make plans to remove a 100-year-old giant ficus tree from a park in Fort Myers to make room for numerous smaller other trees. Well, this lady Cooper, she started rallying the neighborhood in an attempt to save the tree. Well, when that didn't work, she married it. The waterfront nuptials included flowers, music, a tree-decorated wedding cake, and a dog for a ring bearer. I don't know what the dog did to the tree, but I digress. Anyway, over 50 attendees watched as Cooper vowed to love and protect the tree. Following the wedding, the city seems to be backing away from plans to remove it. However, its fate does remain uncertain. She said, however, if they cut down this tree, I'm going to be a widow.
That's pretty good.
I see. Well,
what's her? Do you have her name there?
Yeah, Karen Cooper.
Karen Cooper.
Yeah.
Nincompoop extraordinaire.
Nincompoper. Yes.
That's Mrs. Karen Cooper to you.
Yeah. Well. I wonder what her husband's name is.
Well,
ficus,
it was a ficus. Yeah, Karen Nincompoper. Nincompoper ficus.
That's a good one, Jay. No, you're poor mouthing your story, but it was a good story.
Okay.
It's a fine T-shirt you gave me too, by the way.
Oh, hey, man, I tell you, and so much for being our guest on that. I mean, we've got so many people that were touched by your stories.
Well, you're very kind. I loved it. If you don't know Jay, along with Johnny B and Jim.
Yeah,
is that right, Jim?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Johnny B, who's known to so many and beloved, and Jay do a podcast called Circling the Drain. And apparently they had a lot of cancellations one week because they asked me to stop by. And I was so honored to be there, and it was such a wonderful conversation. And they gave me a T-shirt, which is kind of cool. And I just held it up for the viewing audience.
A lot of fun.
I'm going to wash it, and I'm going to wear it over the course of this week.
Very good.
All right, Jackson, what do you got?
All right, horn dog couple arrested for burglary after doing the nasty on security video.
You
ready? Okay.
I'm just listening.
A couple of suspected horny burglars couldn't wait to get to the bedroom, so they decided to engage in a sex act during a break-in and ended up in the pokey, according to police. The X-rated incident unfolded in the wee hours of October 25th at Mon Cherie Restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona. But it's only now making the rounds in the national media. Here's the deal. Brian Morrow and Carissa Sukanik allegedly forced their way inside.
What? No, say those names again, Jackson?
Yeah.
Brian Morrow and Carissa Sukanik.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah. Is that how you pronounce a woman's name?
Sucanick. How else would you pronounce that?
Sucking it.
Yeah, that's exactly where my brain went.
Anyway.
allegedly forced their way inside the joint to steal money from the cash register. But soon their alleged criminal activity took a detour into the world of amateur pornography. Cops say the pair was caught on surveillance video in the patio area doing the nasty. Then the duo allegedly scattered flowers everywhere and ransacked the bar before hightailing it out of there. Employees discovered the restaurant had been burglarized after they came to work that day, telling local media the suspect stole $450 from the register. The staff also made a key discovery on security footage, which showed the couple's sex act with their faces in full view of the camera. Scottsdale PD detectives were able to ID Morrow and Suckin' It by viewing the footage and gathering tips from the community.
Suckin' Nick. Didn't you say it was a K?
Yeah, there's a K, but who
Suckin'
cares?
Nick. Or Suckin' Nick.
Yeah.
On November 4th, police arrested the two for burglary and booked them into the Maricopa County Jail. Police say the good news for Morrow and Suckin' It is that they won't face charges for their amorous activities on the patio.
You just went with it.
Yeah, I just went with Suckin' It. It's a lot funnier.
Yeah, just went with it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Speaking of, I didn't think you'd go with it. Speaking of going with it, if you are traveling this holiday season, maybe some of you are headed to the airport right now. The TSA wants to remind travelers of some of the do's and don'ts for packing items in your carry-on luggage. These are from experiences that they would offer you these words of warning. And some of the do's might surprise you. Travelers, according to the Transportation Security Agency, can bring, listen up now, baked goods, meats, fresh fruit, and casseroles through airport security checkpoints. But they caution that items like cranberry sauce, gravy, and canned fruit need to be packed in your checked luggage. TSA spokesperson at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Lori Dankers, said, "The big one is canned food. I don't know why you would want to bring canned food like cans of beans or cranberry sauce, but some people do, and they are restricted." TSA agents are urging travelers to triple check their bags to ensure no prohibited items are packed, which can cause delays at security checkpoints. Jennifer Hallett of Gig Harbor shared with KIRO Channel 7, ABC affiliate in Seattle, "The last time I flew, we got held up because someone brought their protein shakes pre-made. Passengers also find themselves throwing away items at the last minute, causing stress as well as delay. TSA also advised travelers to be cautious with wrapped gifts, as they may be unwrapped if the contents are unclear. To avoid disruption, they offer an online chat for travelers unsure about packing specific items, but they are clear on this point. And this brings me to the nincompoopery that's involved here. TSA wants you to know that if you choose to bring a whole turkey, cooked or uncooked, with you to the airport, it is allowed. You will get through the checkpoint, and it will act as a checked bag getting onto the plane. I don't know what nincompoop would bring an entire turkey or a casserole or any other baked goods, fresh fruits, or meats with them on the airplane. But if you want it, you got it. Just don't bring gravy, cranberry sauce, or anything in a metal can.
But that's the fixins.
You're going to have to get the fixins where you're going. That's all I can tell you.
Fixins there.
Well, you know what? We should have thought of that. You need to take your little go to the gift shop and buy yourself a can opener and open that can of cranberry sauce and dump it into a Ziploc bag and then put it
tastes like it's been in a Ziploc bag. Is the TSA trying to ruin Thanksgiving?
Well,
yes.
I mean, couldn't you put the stuff in just as long as the bottle's under 3 ounces?
I think you could do that, Jay. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you
like
can.
a single serving of cranberry sauce.
That's
right.
Really less.
You get like 4 or 5 of the little 3-ounce bottles. I mean.
And then you dump those
but then
out.
You're hand sanitizing everybody cranberry sauce. They just need to let it through.
Cranberry hand sanitizer. Now we're talking.
I'm sure.
No, they don't need to let it through. What I'm fascinated, what moron, no, what nincompoop brings an entire turkey onto an airplane?
Because they're feeling snacky.
Yeah,
God,
see, a full turkey
What if you're flying to Australia.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's a long 16-hour flight.
Uh-huh.
You're going to get hungry.
Yeah.
Bring your turkey.
Sure.
You're going on a Thanksgiving holiday. Maybe you're flying over the holiday to Australia. You got a deal on some Thanksgiving Day Australia tickets, and you want to eat your turkey on the plane. I think it's un-American for them to stop you from eating your turkey on the plane.
If I'm flying to Australia.
Yes.
And you get up out of your seat.
Yes.
And get into the overhead bin.
Yes.
And pull out a whole turkey.
Yes.
And then unwrap that sucker.
Yes.
And start eating on it.
Yes.
I'm going to go hang myself in the laboratory.
Oh, God, Matt.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to try to drown myself in the blue water. Because I'm not sitting on a plane for 14 hours watching your ass munch down on a whole turkey.
I'll give you a leg.
Yeah,
Anybody wants giblets? Who wants dark meat?
Look, it's not going to be a good flight if at any point during the flight someone yells, "Who wants some dark meat?" There's plenty up here in 4G.
I kind of want to do it now just to see how people would react.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Yeah, I get angry when people bring a whole Subway sandwich on. I can't imagine.
Really? Oh, yeah, especially if it's got onions on it.
It's just.
I know, man. Mess up the whole cabin.
Disgusting. There's always one, though, and that one is Jackson Williams. That's how we play Nick Boots in the news. You can vote Jay, you can vote Jackson, you can vote Murphy. It's 53 after the hour. We'll get to Steve, we'll get to John, and we'll get to Mike in just moments on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Happy Thanksgiving. If you feel the need to protect yourself from turkey travelers, might I recommend Defend Systems? No, I kid. Brink Fiddler and his team do want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. They wish you well during the holiday season, and they let you know that if you're a business owner or if you're a decision maker at your business or perhaps you're a decision maker at a church, a school, or any other place that people gather, it is a dangerous world. You probably already knew that. Active shootings happen on a regular basis. Workplace violence happens far too regularly. What about site surveys and threat assessment for your property, security assessment, emergency and intruder action plans, rapid response medical training? They do it all, customized for your facility and for your staff. It is time to get trained, folks. They're not here to scare you. They're not here to tell you that this will happen to you tomorrow or the next day or even ever. But it happens. And every time it happens, someone says the same thing. We never thought it would happen here. Let's not be those people. Let's get trained. Hope is not a plan. It's time to get trained with Defend Systems. DefendSystems.com, DefendSystems.com, or 615-236-6484, 236-6484.
It is 6 p.m., and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. I've got a forecast and a traffic report upcoming. 2 West Virginia National Guard members who deployed to the nation's capital were shot earlier today, just blocks from the White House. FBI Director Kash Patel and Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser said the Guard members were hospitalized in critical condition. Bowser also going on to say that they appeared to be victims of a targeted shooting. The West Virginia governor initially said the troops had died, but later walked back the statement to say his office was receiving conflicting reports about their condition. Metropolitan D.C. Police Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll says this does appear to have been a targeted attack.
The suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring him into custody.
Reports are that individual taken into custody was shot, taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Pentagon says following that shooting in D.C., hundreds more troops will be headed to the nation's capital. ABC's Stephen Portnoy reports.
Departing from meetings in the Dominican Republic, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth responded to the shooting with word that the president has ordered 500 more National Guardsmen to D.C.
This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful.
The National Guard component in D.C. has been just under 2,200. Most of the troops have come from GOP-led states. Last week, a federal judge ordered an end to the deployment in the city, calling it unlawful, a ruling the administration is appealing.
Back here in Nashville, a woman arrested at the mall at Green Hills on organized retail crime and theft charges. She was released yesterday on $10,000 bond. Fox 17 reports that Brianna McCarroll, 25, she's accused of being part of a group that entered Nordstrom department store earlier this month and took off with thousands of dollars worth of clothing. She was part of a group that reportedly just grabbed the stuff and pushed right past store security and left the mall. Police later recovered some of the stolen merchandise. They found it being sold on Facebook by McCarroll and her associates. Authorities are working to locate the remaining suspects, 2 of whom are known to organized retail crime detectives because they've done this before. That is the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. We have a multiple vehicle crash north of the city, 65 northbound. This is up in Sumner County, mile marker 101. The right two lanes are blocked, and looking at traffic cameras, it is gridlock up there all the way past, all the way to about Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. This is up near Millersville. Other traffic issues, 40 westbound, just before exit 196 in Bellevue, we have a wreck, 65 southbound. Down past I-840 at exit 59, a crash. Also, South Nashville, 24 eastbound near Murfreesboro Pike. That exit, we have a wreck. And finally, Lebanon Pike east of Tulip Grove Road in Hermitage, a wreck reported. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. We've got another hour to go, one more to go, and we'll call it a holiday as we are off tomorrow and Friday celebrating Thanksgiving with family and friends. Hope you've got big plans, but we're not taking anything for advantage, or we're not taking advantage of this hour. We are going hard at it until 7 o'clock tonight, gobblers and all. Jackson Williams is behind the glass.
What's up?
What's going on?
Not that much.
Just gobbling. Jay Harper is back there in News Closet B. He continues to gather headlines. Obviously, it's a fun day. It's a Thanksgiving holiday Eve edition. That's perfectly acceptable, by the way, Jackson.
But today would be, for us...
It's Thanksgiving Eve.
It's Thanksgiving Eve. That's not a holiday.
It's Thanksgiving Eve.
You just killed a puppy.
That's not true. That's not how any of that works.
We're not putting Eve... You know what? I'll agree with you on Friday Eve. If we're not...
you just killed a puppy. So you say that and you kill a puppy.
It wouldn't technically today be Friday Eve?
No, today's Wednesday.
Today would be Friday.
No, today's not. Today's Wednesday.
But have you done the math?
Oh, I've done the math.
We don't work tomorrow, Friday.
Correct.
So today is our Friday. Yesterday was our Thursday, our Friday Eve, you might say. And then Monday was Wednesday.
You keep this up, I'm going home. I'm going to find a laboratory.
Yeah, my brains are already scrambled after hearing that.
That's awful. What you just did to everyone is awful.
Have you ever seen Billy Madison?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is now dumber for hearing what you just had to say.
May God have mercy on your soul. All right, 615-737-9986. We'll get to telephone calls momentarily. I do want to update you. 2 National Guardsmen, if you're just joining us on the show. Earlier today, 2 National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. were shot. They are in critical condition. There was a report that they had died. That came out of the West Virginia governor's office. He retracted that report. It now does appear that they are in critical condition. It appears that it was an ambush near the White House. Our prayers go out to the National Guardsmen, 1 male, 1 female, we believe, that have been shot and put in harm's way in that fashion. The individual responsible for the shooting is in custody. Had no identification, was arrested. When arrested, was shot, but is not critical enough that they're not trying to get some cooperation out of the individual. And apparently, the individual is not cooperating whatsoever. No identification when arrested and not cooperating. That's the latest on that. Representative Justin Pearson writes, he's from over in Memphis. He's the representative over there running for the congressional seat occupied by Steve Cohen and will win it, by the way. Justin Pearson will be a congressman. Just not saying he should be, saying he will be. I'm sorry to learn about the 2 members of the National Guard being shot and in critical condition in D.C. Gun violence must end. We need laws to limit access to prevent these tragedies. These service members should be home, not deployed as a tyrant's pawns. Praying for them. All right, one, politicizing an act of domestic terrorism in this fashion is on brand for Democrats. And obviously, we have I don't know, I've not heard what type of weapon was used in this shooting. Justin Pearson, I would guarantee you, hasn't heard either. He just, whatever it was, take it, seize it, make it illegal. Handgun, y'all know that that's the goal of liberal Democrats, is to make all ownership of all guns illegal. That is their goal. And they're not even hiding it anymore. Secondarily, Justin, you ever think, and I'm just reading, these service members should be home, not deployed as a tyrant's pawns. You ever think referring to our duly elected president of the United States of America as a tyrant might inspire your supporters and others to engage in this type of activity and violence? You ever think that? How about you stop with the incendiary language, pal? You good with that? Or no? Feels like they never learn. Mike is in Old Hickory. Hello, Mike.
How you doing?
Mike, I'm great. I hope you are. Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Seriously, I hope you are too. We're in a deflection period in this country, and we're going to get Thanksgiving, to freedom. I hope. So when Donald Trump got on with Mamdani and just said, I'll give you anything you want, Donald Trump, lost my support. Mm-hmm. The GOP lost my support because he basically said, I'm going to help you save New York because New York is so important in the world that I'm willing to give you whatever you need to save New York. And he told that to a socialist communist that got elected mayor, who now is going to get a 16% increase in pay because of the New York City Council just voted in a massive pay increase for all those socialist communists. So what I'm saying to you, Matt, is, look, we're going down the path of socialism. We're going down the path of communism. And I just, when everybody goes to their tables and eats their turkey or ham or whatever, you better discuss something. Our freedom's about to go away next November when the GOP is going to be wiped out.
You eat ham on Thanksgiving?
No.
Okay. I'm just asking.
I don't eat ham.
Well, I mean, you brought ham up.
Well, that's what people do.
People eat ham on Thanksgiving? I guess if you don't like turkey, maybe you go for ham.
That's what happened.
I always felt ham was more Easter in my family. We did ham on Easter. Deviled eggs, ham.
Nope.
No? Okay. What will be on your Thanksgiving menu tomorrow, Mike?
It's going to be turkey, a turkey breast.
Oh, that sounds delicious. You got any family coming over, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I've got ones coming over, and we're gonna have some gravy on it, like you were talking about. Better not come on the airlines, right?
Yeah, better not take that gravy on the airplane. No.
Yeah. No. Well, anyway.
Hey, Mike.
What I'm trying to say is that I want you to be happy, and this country better start waking up because we're going to get creamed. The conservatives, the people that really believe in this country, we're going to get creamed next November because these socialists...
Oh, creamed corn. That's good, too. Creamed corn is good.
They're taking over. Look at all the great cities of this country.
Are you a fan of the creamed corn, Mike?
Creamed corn?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm hoping
I got it right off the grill where you take the corn cob and you put a little butter on it and a little garlic and you roast it.
You just mentioned getting creamed, and it reminded me of creamed corn. Hey, look, I made Mike laugh. I think Mike laughed at his own joke. It's pretty good. Thank you, Mike. You know what? I thought that the meeting between Mom Donnie and Trump was masterful on Trump's part. Donald Trump is a great negotiator, one of the best. And Donald Trump understands that Mom Donnie is not going to do half, 3/4, 4/5, 90% of the socialist type of rhetoric that he claimed that he would get it done in New York City during the campaign. He's not going to get it done. And so Donald Trump is manipulating Mom Donnie as he is able to do. But I don't believe that he's working with him in any other way that wouldn't benefit the people of New York and New York City generally. Follette writes in and says, cream corn, I love you, Matt. No, I mean, I love creamed corn. I mean, he mentioned getting creamed, and I thought, man, I could go for some creamed corn. I don't think we're doing green bean casserole. Yeah, green bean casserole is always kind of overhyped. You know, I'd rather have, you know what I'd rather have? I'd rather have green beans. Green beans. With maybe a little onion, a little bacon in there, chopped up. Can you tell I'm getting hungry?
Yes, I can tell.
Yeah. What about you? You ready to go?
A little snacky.
Get a little something. Oh, well, there's a whole turkey in there in the fridge. Just bust that out like you would on, just pretend you're on a big airplane.
I thought you were saving that for your lavatory meal, your pre-lavatory meal.
Right. Matt is in Shelbyville. Hello, Matt.
Hey, long time no talk to.
Yes,
Matt.
sir. I'm doing well. I hope you are.
Can't complain. Can't complain. And if I did, nobody listened. So, But let me talk to you about, let's try to put on our thinking cap. We have conservatives in this country and liberals in this country, and I think you can agree that both parties have not done the best for the citizens of this country. And it takes some time for everybody to come up with that opinion. And when you do that, you'll bring in socialist parties or just the idea of Marxism and communism and socialism. So if you do not want these three alternates, then you need to start taking care of the two primaries. And if you don't, you're going to give a foothold to other situations that you might not really want.
I've said for a long time, Matt, that today's Republicans are yesterday's Democrats, and today's Democrats are yesterday's socialists. And I don't see a lot of conservatives walking around anymore. Certainly physical conservatives, right? So, and I've been saying that for 20 years. When I was in Montgomery, Alabama, and I started my talk show, I was like, today's Republicans aren't conservative. They're more like Democrats. I said 20 years ago that if JFK were around in 2005, that he would be a Republican, right? So we're watching in real time a shift in American politics, and I wouldn't suggest that that hasn't always been going on. It has always gone on. What we have walked away from is the possibility of legitimate third parties, and I would love to see third parties rise up, one or two, I don't care how many, because it is a part of the American tradition that we have multiple parties vying for that level of control. The Democrats and the Republicans love that you have to pick between Pepsi and Coke. You know what I mean? They don't want any other interlopers in the mix. I think we are better served when there are other political parties that are viable and that are flourishing in the mix. I wish that my beloved Libertarian Party would get its act together, but sadly they don't seem to be able to get out of their own way.
Well, also, but we have one major beast that all parties are going to have to deal with, and that is the corporations of this country. See, the corporations run this country. And anytime corporations run this country, that means that's the 1%, and everybody else turns into a consumer. So we will always, this is why our prices are so high. The consumers are making billions while we are working 80 hours a week and can't afford anything. So how about we fix?
Well, how would you go about it? Well, I'm willing to listen. I would push back on the concept, but I'll hold off on doing that. What would you do if I were to agree with you that the quote unquote corporations, and I don't really know what that means, are running the country? What do you do about it?
What I do about it is I'm just thinking. I don't know. I'm not an economist, and I don't know how it could work. But I will say that every citizen that works for a corporation, company, gets profit sharing.
What?
They get profit sharing. Whoever you work for get profit sharing.
How does that diminish corporate influence in American politics?
It is when it doesn't diminish. It just gives more to the person that's doing the work. So if I'm working for quote Amazon, who's making billions, and they're allowed to pay.
So you don't believe that I should be able to privately own my business?
I believe that you have the right to own your business, but not.
Well, hold on. Stop for a second.
Okay.
You just said that every worker within a company,
right,
you would make it so that I would be required to offer them profit sharing.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Isn't that ownership in the business?
I guess you could say that.
So you're saying that the government should intervene with my ability to privately own my business and simply hire out employees?
I think that we have, or businesses have manipulated a way where they can turn around and make ungodly amount of money at the backs of the people that are making the money for them. It's one thing to have an idea, but you got to have ants. You got to have workers to do this. And you can't slave the American people. Well, they're doing that right now. And now they're complaining because they don't have any money, and yet all of these corporations are trillionaires. So,
wait, no, the corporations are trillionaires. What does that mean? Corporations are made up of what?
A business of products. From all types.
No. Well, let me throw a word out at you and see if you agree with me. Okay.
Okay.
Corporations are made up of shareholders.
They are.
Okay. So shareholders make profit.
They do.
Those are people, human beings like you and like me.
Right.
Right. So what's wrong with that?
Nothing. But those shareholders are not doing the work. See, if those shareholders were doing the work...
Their shareholders are taking the risk.
Okay, but again, that's fine. But there should be a cap of...
Well, look. I'm all about I'm all about if a business owner wants to decide to offer profit sharing to their employees, they're probably going to get happier employees and better employees as a result. But what I would not want to do is to have government involve itself in that voluntary contract between a business and an employee in a way that would force the business to do certain things because the government demands it. That type of interloping creates a dynamic that leads to socialism.
Okay, but we're going to have to find a median.
I think we've got one pretty good. I think we got a pretty good one working right now. That the government involves itself in ensuring that certain businesses do not take advantage in certain ways that give them leverage above other businesses. That we provide a level and equitable playing field, and that we, as a society, set up certain rules of the road in terms of how they're going to treat their employees. I'm fine with that, and then let those businesses that will flourish.
But the businesses are flourishing, and the citizens of this country are the poverty line.
No, we're not. No, that is just a fallacy. The American people, who's got it? I mean, the American people have it pretty good. We've never had it better in the United States of America. It is a fallacy that that there's been a time that we've had it better.
Really?
Yes. Name me a time that we've had it better.
Well, better is subjective. You've had your problems in every decade. You've had problems.
I'll tell you what, Matt. Look, call me back. I'd love to continue the conversation. I got to run. Call me back at any time. We'll continue this conversation. I understand that people want to believe that it used to be so much better. That's not true. I mean, even when people look back, we used to be able to own homes. Do you see the type of homes we used to own? And that's fine. I'm not knocking the type of homes that existed back then. People say, oh, man, 40 years ago, you could work on one income and own a home. And kids could go. Well, kids didn't go to college back then. And the homes that they owned, little 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom homes, 8 people living in it. Guys, I mean, we are guilty of living high on the hog. We are guilty of probably overspending. We are guilty of a lot of things individually in this country. But any suggestion that we've ever had it better in the United States of America is just not true. It continues to get better. Now, I don't know if we're not seeing the zenith right now, and sadly, I think AI might be a big part of that. It's 26 after the hour. I'd love to hear from you. We'll lighten things up with a little Thanksgiving talk coming up as well. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville wish you a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. And if you are down in the back, if you're frustrated because you're down in the back and you can't enjoy Thanksgiving festivities like you want to, if you have back pain, neck pain, knee pain, hip pain, sciatica, a slipped or bulging disc, friends, get to the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Let's turn 2026 into the year that you feel better. Let's make sure that in 2026 you don't suffer in debilitating pain, that you don't take constant pills, or you don't have spinal injections to block the pain. Let's get with the Wellness Institute of Nashville and see what Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team can do for you. I'm telling you, it works. I know because I had debilitating back pain, and I don't any longer. Thank you to the Wellness Institute. Call 615-465-465. What is that? I don't even know whose number that is. 615-246-5009. It's 246-5009. Or go to painisbad.com. Once again, painisbad.com. And I'll give you the number one more time because I screwed it up at the beginning. 615-246-5009 for the Wellness Institute of Nashville.
It is 6:30 p.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A complete forecast and another traffic report are coming up. 2 National Guard members from West Virginia remain in critical condition after they were shot in downtown D.C. near the White House earlier today. According to Washington, D.C. law enforcement officials, a suspect is in custody and the scene has been secured. In a press conference earlier today, Metropolitan Police Assistant Chief Jeff Carroll, he gave an update on the early investigation into the shooting.
It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement.
In other news, despite some early hesitation, the original 28-point peace plan proposed by the U.S. to Ukraine underwent some majority adjustments, renewing some hopes that a deal may be possible. ABC's Mick Mulroy has more.
It really did shake the confidence, I believe, in Ukraine, our European partners, and quite frankly, several bipartisan groups on the Hill. But that seems to have changed. Secretary Rubio got involved. The 19-point revision seems to be more in line with the interests of Ukraine.
We now turn to our closing money news for this Wednesday. And for that, here's Michelle Frenzen.
Tech companies helped lead another rally with the major indexes all seeing their fourth straight gain. The Dow added 314 points. The S&P rose 46. And the NASDAQ grew 189 points. Dell Technologies climbed 5% after saying it got an order for its artificial intelligence servers. NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Broadcom also rose. Robinhood markets jumped 10% for the biggest gain among S&P 500 companies after the trading platform said it plans to roll out a futures and derivatives exchange next year. On the losing end was Deere & Company, which lost 5% after the farm equipment maker cited tariffs when lowering its forecast. The average 30-year mortgage rate fell to 6.2% last week, ending 3 straight weeks of increases. The stock exchange, NASDAQ, and bond markets will be closed on Thanksgiving. Markets reopened for a shortened day of trading Friday.
That is the latest news. Traffic and your holiday weather are next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News. Oh, boy, we've got some new problems here now. 65 northbound right before Bethel Road. Actually, I reported this a little earlier. But anyway, this is up in Sumner County. An accident has the right 2 lanes blocked. This is 65 northbound just before Bethel Road at exit 104. And traffic is backed up, all the way past Long Hollow Pike. So if you're headed up to Kentucky on 65 North trying to get out of here, yeah, you may want to look for an alternate route. The left lane remaining blocked on 24 eastbound due to a crash right at Whites Creek Pike, exit 35. 24 eastbound at Haywood Lane in Antioch. We picked up a crash there about 20 minutes ago. We've got your traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Friends, we have an opportunity to save you money, but it takes a telephone call and an interaction with Shane Ring at Cover Nash. Let's talk about it for a moment. I understand that you want to get a good deal on your insurance and not have to worry about it anymore. With Cover Nash, you can get a new nationwide PPO plan in 2026 that gives you the freedom to choose your doctor anywhere in the United States of America. And did you know that Shane Ring at Cover Nash can offer that at just a $250 deductible. That's right. Flat copays after the deductible. Outpatient surgery is just a $250 copay. This is just one example of what Shane can do for you. What's right for you? Well, it takes a telephone conversation between you and Shane. You want to manage your insurance with you and your insurance company and not through interference with the government. You want to set these rates. You want to make these decisions, not allowing the government through Obamacare to do it for you, because you're always going to get screwed that way. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, call 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or go to coverdash.com. That's coverdash.com for health care coverage managed by you, not by the government. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is the Matt Murphy radio show, 39 minutes, almost 40 after, 20 until 7. We'll call it a weekend at that time. That's right, we're done for Thanksgiving, and we will not be here on Friday. A best of on Thanksgiving Day and a best of we can manage on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Thanks again to all of you. We appreciate and are thankful to Ken Weaver, who's normally back in News Closet. B.J. Harper's been there all day today. We're thankful for all of our coworkers on Super Talk 99.7 WT. And I was thankful to hear Brian Wilson's voice today, subbing in for Chad Benson. Thankful for Chris Hand, for Dan Mandis, and the rest of the crew here. And believe it or not, I'm thankful for Jackson Williams.
I'm thankful for you too, buddy.
Aw. How about that? You want a hug? No?
Maybe after the show.
Maybe. Well, maybe not.
Not on camera.
Nah, maybe not. Anyway, many of you reflecting on your Thanksgiving on the super text line. You're welcome to do so if you so desire. Fletch writes in and says, love you, Matt. My dad had 5 kids in the 90s and a stay-at-home mom for us, making $50K a year. I make $120K, and I'm a single dad, and I manage, but some people have it so hard. People raising kids, starting business, buying homes, had it way easier than our generation does. I disagree. Today, the average first-time home buyer is 40 years old. What was it in the 1990s? Not about the 1990s, but the types of homes that are being offered to individuals that are first-time home buyers are way different than they were back in the day. Also, people make it a priority or made it a priority to get into that type of thing much earlier than they do nowadays. Those are personal choices. Those are not choices that somehow society has directed them down this road. My dad worked at that job right out of the Marines, no college, had no time to coach mine and my brother's baseball and basketball teams, have weekends off, you name it. Or had time to coach mine and my brother's basketball and baseball teams. This is in no way a shot at my father. I love and respect him more than anything, but even he himself will say how much harder it is to get going in today's economy and time versus the 1990s. We have a lot nicer things nowadays. You know, we forget the things that we perhaps did not have. And there are expenses that we use our money for that we did not use our money for back in the day. I mean, there are reasons that a lot of that you're talking about. I don't deny you your reality, Fletch. Obviously, it is what it is. But, cell phone technology, for example, is just a good example. How many televisions do you have in the home versus how many televisions did you have in the home back in the day? I mean, times were different because times were different. Homes were different. When I grew up, my grandfather and my grandmother bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with a living area, a couple of bedrooms, bathroom, a kitchen, and that was it. My grandfather built a dining room onto the home himself. He then built an extension, a new bathroom off of the existing bathroom so that he could make the existing bathroom, which is very tiny, a wash room for the laundry, for a washer and dryer. Previous to that, my grandmother washed clothes out in what we called the wash house, which was out back, and we hung all of our clothes to dry. I'm just saying that to suggest that things were different. People remember things as more affordable, but I would suggest that we don't remember the things that we did not have as a result of not just not having them. And, I remember back in the day, too, my grandfather worked his butt off. Sometimes, 14 hours a day. He'd leave at 5:30 in the morning and get back at 7 o'clock at night. Now, it wasn't every day, obviously. For the most part, he would leave at 7 and get back at 5 or somewhere around that time. My grandfather was a self-employed mechanic all of his working life. And, well, not all of his working life. He was self-employed because my mother had brain cancer and he had to raise 3 grandchildren on top of the 2 kids that he had already raised. But he did so in a middle-class fashion. But so we had, there were 3 of us at one point that were in one bedroom. The point I'm making is that I do think that we remember the good things. We tend to forget that which we did not have. And I would suggest to you that we have it pretty good in the United States of America. The American dream is not lost. We can lose it. I think if we continue down the road of dependence on government, we will lose it. I do not believe that we are seeing, the big quote-unquote corporations take advantage of the American people to the point that the American people can't succeed through working at these companies. I don't believe that that's true at all. Brian joins us next on the show. Hey, Brian.
Hey, I'm thankful because I was in boys' homes, foster homes, got kicked out when I was 16 in Wisconsin, sleeping on a park bench. Did I say the government owed me? No, I picked up my bootstraps, got my GED, and went to HVAC school. And now I'm running 3 trucks. I got 200-some thousand a year, and I'm doing good.
Yeah. That's good, brother. That's excellent. You feeling good about it?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
So I just want to tell everybody, hey, when you're down, you go up. So just telling everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
You do too, brother. I appreciate you. I'm thankful for you, Brian. I'm thankful for all of our listeners. Thanksgiving is a matter of being thankful for that which we have been blessed, with which we have been blessed. And we have so many blessings in the United States of America. We do. We're blessed to be born here. You know, I like to say, you've probably heard me say it, that in the United States of America, absent mental or physical disability or disease, that long-term poverty is a choice. That doesn't mean that good people can't have bad things happen to them. Of course they can. But understand and hear the words that I say, that in the United States of America, absent mental or physical disability or disease, that long-term poverty is a choice. It is. Poverty. I'm not talking about affluence or being rich. Poverty. And what we consider poverty in the United States of America is a different standard than around the rest of the world. The rest of the world can't say that. There are some places where you are born into slavery based on the condition of your birth. Slavery meaning not, a physical slavery like we think of slavery back in the history books, or we think of slavery happening in some parts of the world today, but you are a slave to the nation that you're born in, that you do not have an opportunity like we do in the United States of America to use the intelligence that God gave you, to use the work ethic that God gave you, to use the determination and your own individual talents to succeed. Absent just random one-offs. If you're born, you think people born in Haiti have a shot? Boy, it's rare. You've got to demonstrate some sort of athletic prowess or ability. And even then, most of those people, they never succeed because they never get an opportunity to succeed. No one ever finds them. I know that it's easy to, I won't say that's what y'all are doing. None of y'all are doing this, but I think it's easy to kind of focus on the negative or focus on maybe what we don't have individually and not focus on the things that we do have. And we have so many blessings in the United States of America, but it takes a certain level of responsibility to keep those blessings and to make sure that we cultivate that fertile soil so that it is left behind for our children and our children's children and their children. I don't know that we're doing a lot of that anymore. Sadly, what I see most of the nation doing is they're putting their hands out and they're asking the government to do something for them. They're demanding that elected leaders do something for them. And I wouldn't pretend that it's a lot. I wouldn't pretend that it's a majority, but it is enough that we notice that, especially amongst the younger generations, there comes a certain level of expectation that they will get something for, dare I say, nothing. But I am thankful. I remain supremely thankful for the things that we have and the things that we enjoy. And we, as a talk show, I, as a host, often focus on the negative because, that's what we're here to fix, right? And so I like to take the opportunity to make sure that we focus a little bit on the positive and the good things that are happening in our world. I think we'll have a good thing happen next Tuesday. I think Matt Van Epps will. This latest poll is a scare tactic on the part of liberals to try to motivate them into believing that they can win. I don't believe it for a moment. I think Matt Van Epps will eventually win by 10 or maybe even 12 percentage points. That's a good thing. He's not a perfect candidate, of course not. Once again, we get caught up in the little things. We argue so often about the minutia of the directions that our country's going in that we forget the big picture, that we've got it better than most. We're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and there's some ways that we are failing our own people, but in so many ways we succeed in spite of as opposed to because of. It's 10 until the top of the hour. We'll wrap things up. Ask Jackson Williams what the favorite thing he will eat tomorrow is. That's coming up next on Super Talk. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Gobble, gobble. Winding our way to Thanksgiving. Get a Rita real quick. Hello, Rita.
Hey.
Hey, Rita.
How are you?
I'm fine, Rita. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Matt. I just want to tell you something real quick, okay?
Uh-huh.
I am a registered nurse. I've been nursing for 30 years. I have a bachelor's degree. No big whoop, but that's what I've done for the last 30 years. And when I started, I was single. I had a child under 2 years old, and I knew how to make money. But if I did that and went to school, I would never see my baby. And so I elected to investigate the government assistance, and I got on United Child Care, which was a assistance for child care by Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
He had a limit on it. You could do it for 2 years. That's all. And that worked out perfectly because then she could go to Head Start. But I also was on food stamps, and people talk now about being on thousands of dollars of food stamps. I had $200 a month, and I got on Section 8 housing because when I first started, I was in a domestic violence shelter.
Well, Rita, I don't mean to rush you, but we don't have a lot of time left. So,
well, I just want to tell you, all of that gave me the boost that I needed.
Yes.
And from there, I used it for what it was used for, not to stay on it for years and years and years.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
It was just what I needed. It was just what I needed, and I was glad for it. But that's changed since.
Well,
then.
you seem like you never lost sight of the idea that the goal was not to stay on it. The goal was to get off it.
Well, of course,
Right.
I was actually, embarrassed, but I also knew I had a goal and I knew what I was headed for. And so anyway,
I am thankful that you have succeeded in that. I mean, that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
and my
wonderful.
daughter's wonderful. She's
Good.
wonderful. She's got a wonderful husband and children, and I actually, I don't want to say too much more. Some people may recognize me, but
Well, Rita, we appreciate you, and I thank you for that story, and God bless you, and you have a good Thanksgiving. I've got to scoot, okay?
God bless you.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving
Bye-bye.
to you. Take care. Hey, Jackson.
Yeah.
What must go on the plate tomorrow?
Got to have some type of tater on your plate tomorrow.
Like mashed?
Any of it.
Casserole?
Any of it.
Yeah. I'm a dressing guy. Love the dress. I mean, that's what Thanksgiving's all about to me. The turkey and the dressing. That's what it's all about. And the giving of the thanks. Spend some good time with family and friends. We'll see you on Monday of next week. Until then, for Jackson, for Jay, and for everyone else, hug your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving. So long.